edition of your Tony Basilio Show.
To FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio welcoming you to another edition. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Monday. It's, I'm calling this a Pick Up the Pieces Monday. The A to the W to the B. And we're trying to, as best we can, pick up the pieces in our own little way here. And I'm not sure how it's going to go. That arm is not working. But we're trying to pick up the pieces here in our own little way. And what a crazy, crazy time it's been. And Laura, that arm's not working, hon. This thing over here. But yeah, I was talking to Bino, before we got started here, and I want him to kind of go and discuss what he wants to discuss, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And at the end of the day, I'm going to let Bino talk here. Let me go ahead and let Bino get into what he wants to get into. Bino, go ahead, man.
Well, Tony, good morning to you and Brian. Really disappointed to lose a huge SEC matchup that we were positioned perfectly to win. That being said, I was also really encouraged by a lot of what I saw. I thought our offensive approach and attack and execution was very, very good, with the exception of one very significant series that I'll mention at the end here and talk a little bit about it. I thought Joey played fantastic, and he passed as tough a test as he'll face. And I thought that pretty much every offensive unit was to be applauded for their performance on Saturday. Disappointed in the defensive output. Didn't think anyone would pile up 500 total yards or run for just shy of 200 against us defensively coming into this season. I understand we're playing shorthanded due to key injuries, but that's pretty much life in the SEC. But what I will give our defense is they were opportunistic. They turned 2 touchdown drives into field goals, which kept us in the game. And they got a takeaway at the exact moment that we needed one. So that's I think that probably the bottom line was better than the numbers suggest defensively. Felt bad for Max. By all accounts, he's a fine young man. He's been a solid kicker, still is a solid kicker. He just happened to miss a big kick in a huge game. And like we said about the defense, that being life in the SEC, that's just life as a kicker right there. Hats off to Gunnar Stockton. Thought he played great. And I don't think that I've ever seen anyone in Neland Stadium in a do-or-die situation execute any more perfectly than he and London Humphreys on the fade route that pulled them within 2. That was just a perfect throw and a great catch. We were in good position. That's just them doing their job just a little bit better than we did ours. Moving to the series right after the takeaway. I, like many, thought we were too conservative after the takeaway. I know Georgia was taking away the home run ball, so we weren't just going to drop back and throw a dime for a touchdown the play after that we got the takeaway. But if that's the case, they certainly couldn't take away that and some intermediate routes. So that's no excuse for running the ball 3 times. I would have liked to have seen what our approach would have been had we started 1st and 10 rather than 1st and 15. And if you want to argue, if you want to say that shouldn't have changed our approach, that we should have still been more conservative, you'll get little to no argument from me about that. I just can understand how that may change a coach's viewpoint on what he wanted to do in that situation. Whether he wanted to try to take a sure field goal or whether he wanted to push the issue and try to put the game away. I can see how that may have changed the thought there. This one's sting for a while. That's the way big games that you lose close are. And I'm while being very disappointed, I'm also very happy to have a program back to the point where our play can match the big-time atmosphere that we've always been able to create here during a game from a fan standpoint. So hats off to the crowd, too. They were fantastic all day on Saturday. Just an absolute great college football game that the wrong team won.
Bino, thank you. We have a lot to talk about today. We'll get some calls on the other side. I just feel so conflicted about the game, which is how I started on Garzaloff 5th quarter fan reaction. In one sense, I'm so appreciative of where our program is. In another sense, I'm mad at our head coach. Because that was a real opportunity. You know, we were live at Calhoun's on Friday, and we were talking about what an opportunity this thing is. And you know what? It was a much more of an opportunity than I thought it would be. How many times you got to throw the ball up in the air and there's guys in their secondary fall down? And that's my takeaway. You get in that spot, you get a chance to go up 13 on them. You do not play with your food. And I love this coach. I just can't. I don't care if it's 1st and 20. Throw the ball in the end zone. They keep falling down. And that was the point in the game where they just kept falling down. Make one of their defensive backs make a play. And if they make a play, they make a play. Okay, they make a play. But to Bino's point, and we'll come back and talk about this, that Georgia bunch, if you don't think that that's another level, their belief in themselves, they had zero business winning that game Saturday. Zero business. We kind of left it there for them. And at the end of the game, they took it. And it was a great college football game. And this year in the SEC, well, we'll talk about it. Because I'm going to tell you something. I was talking with a great friend of mine who's watched a college game for forever and ever. And I want to ask Bino and Brian about this. I think this is going to be the most interesting SEC football season maybe we've ever seen. I mean, this thing, who's great? Tell me who's great. I see a lot of good teams. Bino, who's great in the league this year? LSU got one offensive touchdown the other night, and they're building with Florida. Who's great?
Yeah, through 3 weeks, Tony, what I thought was the top has come down a little bit, and what I thought was the bottom has come up. So we just kind of mashing things together here, it looks like to me.
And we're somewhere...
Maybe the 2 teams that played Saturday at Neland might be great.
No, Brian, we're not great.
Yeah.
We're pretty good. And they're pretty good. I don't think anybody's great. We'll take a brief timeout and come back with more right after this.
Coffee. I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Why limit great savings to just one weekend? This year, our Labor Day special lasts all month long. It's the September Smart Comfort event from Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month only, enjoy valuable home comfort upgrades at no extra cost when you install a new HVAC system or water heater to prepare your home for the colder months ahead. This September, you can get a free furnace upgrade with qualifying HVAC system installation or free sediment filter with water heater installation. Pipe Wrench is your partner for energy-efficient and cost-effective upgrades that keep your family comfortable and safe year-round. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. No rush, no stress, just smart seasonal savings for HVAC or water heater installations until the end of September. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
TB back with you, 865-200-5402. Talking to Bino and Bri during the break, and then we'll go to the phones. Because really, I want to share as much time together as we can today. And we'll have Josh Heupel's press conference next hour as we're fan running with you on a incredible Monday. It's kind of a sad day, but I'm sort of conflicted because the Vols went toe-to-toe with a champ and an alleged top-notch team. The thing we knew, though, is you wanted to get those guys in September because they're kind of a work in progress. And that's what they are. They're a work in progress. Tennessee's a work in progress. Tennessee's all beat up, which has me very concerned with the defense going forward. Got to get some people back, like Thrody wrote today. You got to get Moy back. You got to get at least your defensive line back. I'm not sure if your guys in your secondary are coming back. I don't know how that's going to work. But before we go to the phones, Brian. So you're telling me, Bri, that karma's a real thing. Let's unpack one thing here, because there was a shameful thing that happened in the post to Joey Agalar, and that's this: Deshaun Foster and his people leaked through the media that Joey Agalar wasn't really watching film. And wasn't really what's the word, Bri? Kind of working at it. That's kind of the.
I think he said something about not being on the same page with his receivers or something like that.
Hey, Bino, at the time we called that chicken bleep. Do you believe that, Bino, that kid wasn't on the same page with his receivers when they chose to make that move?
Absolutely not, Tony. They were just trying to justify screwing the kid.
And Deshaun Foster, just like Nico's father, when you do the wrong things for the wrong reason in this world, many times, not all the time, because a lot of people get up and do the wrong things for the wrong reason and land on their feet every day. And it's not for us to know why. But you know what? Sometimes when you do that, when you play with kids' lives and you have a kid and he wants to come back home and you run him off and throw him off, you get fired 3 games into your season and humiliated and disgraced. And I was glad to see it. This Agalar story, there's so many tentacles to it. It's such an interesting thing. Bino, you being live, okay, in the stadium, because I was talking with C about this. You ever dream in a million years, and then we go to the phones, that he could look like that, Bino, on that stage, like that? Right now, I'm going to rank the SEC quarterbacks later in the week. We're going to do a YouTube video on it, me and the Seabird. I'm going to tell you right now, Bino, he's top 5 player in the league right now. Maybe top 3. He was. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I hoped for a storybook type of situation, fairy tale type of situation, I never dreamed it would come to fruition. And that's what we're seeing. This is just storybook stuff that we're seeing.
And we go to the phones. Bino, I'm trying not to be mad at Heupel. These games stick with you, though. Like Maggie Nathan called the other day and said, she said, I don't know when I've been in this much pain. I can't remember the last time I was in this much pain after a game. She said in some ways that's kind of good because it sort of means you've got expectations again. That was a really painful loss, and one that does stick with you. There's just no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's going to, Tony. It's that's I think at one time you did a series of that you used to run on your show. One was about misery, and one was about joy.
Vol scars is what we called them. Yep.
Yeah,
the ones that leave a scar.
And that's what this game is. You have memories on both sides of the scale, and this one goes on the misery side. From a coaching standpoint, Tony, I thought Heupel did a masterful job having his team ready, having his team prepared.
Incredible.
With getting us out in front. I think he's done a remarkable job with this program, to be quite honest. This is a day and time, and I understand it. Those coaches make $9 million. And part of the blame for this loss should go to him, but not a larger percentage than he deserves. I mean, after what I thought was too conservative, a series of plays that put us up by 8, yes, they tied the game. Then it was pretty much a masterful drive to take it back down there and put yourself in position to win.
Yeah.
And Max has to make the field goal. That's his job. He has to make the field goal. So everybody deserves a piece of this pie, but nobody deserves the whole pie from a finger pointing standpoint.
To the phones we go. I'm so appreciative, and yet I'm so mad because, man, when you get Georgia in that spot, you can't kick a field goal there. You can kick a field goal. You can't play for a field goal when you have a chance to go up 13. It's just not what you do in that sport. It's never been what he's done. And your passing game is working. Every time you threw the ball up, guys were falling down. That's a thing as I went back and rewatched. And I'm not making one other thing, and then we'll go to the phones. We do not get a whistle. We just don't get the whistle from during this Heupel era. I don't know what it is about him. We're in our building, and I'm not going to say this to sound bitter, okay? Go back and watch the final touchdown. That Humphreys kid pushes off there. Last year, they called that all over college football. They're not calling it anymore. I saw it called in the NFL yesterday a couple times. They called it in the Eagles game a couple times. They're not calling it at the collegiate level now. We're back to letting these guys push off. But Georgia did all kinds of grabbing, holding, point of attack holding, and they got out of there with a win. I mean, they're a winning program. I am not blaming the officials. But when are we going to start getting a whistle like we belong? Tennessee's is a top of the conference team right now. And they're not top, but they're middle top. They made the playoffs last year. They're upper middle at least. And on the upper part of the middle. When are they going to start getting treated like it by the officials? That was not a home whistle Tennessee got Saturday. And you should get a home whistle in your league. I mean, especially when your fans are as oiled up as our fans were. To the phones we go.
I thought there was a pass interference penalty on Aguilar's one pick.
I agree,
toward the end of the first half that they didn't call.
Total grab. Takedown. I agree, Bri.
He grabbed him.
Total grab. And by the way, the call on Redmond on the sideline on the ball that was 100 yards over his head and 30.
Most ridiculous call of the night. Ridiculous.
You don't get that in your building?
No,
in your
ridiculous.
building. I mean, what is it about this coach and this staff? And do they need to change their? Does Danny White need to? Do we need to change our approach? We're not getting a rub.
He doesn't work.
He
doesn't work officials enough, does he?
I don't know. I'm not around him.
That's been the theme.
I think it looks like to me like he's pretty communicative with them, Bri. To the phones we go. 865. That was one. You want to, when I tell my friends, right, Pennsylvania, and my family, and I'm like, hey, this SEC football thing, I mean, look, I like the NFL. It's fine. You know, it'd be fun, I guess, to be a WIP, like my boy Jack Fritz and some of these people. There ain't nothing like that. There is nothing like that. Nothing. One other thing I want to enter into the conversation. If you were either stuck before the game going in, I want to hear from you, or stuck in one of these garages after the game, I've had people tell me that they were jammed in their garages for like 2 hours after the game. Like it was a total mess. I'd like to hear from you and hear your story.
Tony, it was the worst entrance I can ever remember trying to get in. Apparently, they had several gates that were malfunctioning or something, and I generally go in 21. I'm not 21, but 22 up at the top of the hill, and they apparently ran a bunch of people up there. It was just about impossible to get to either of those gates on the hill. It just impossible. I've never seen it like that. It was ridiculous.
As a gate malfunction, Bino, explain that to me.
I don't know. I don't know if their readers weren't working or what, but I understood that they told a bunch of people that were trying to get in 21 and some other gates that they should go up on the hill to get in up there. With all of these electronic tickets now, I don't know, maybe one of their ticket readers went out or something. I have no idea.
Don't you at some point, Bino, when you see that line and you see that crowd, don't you just look at people's phones and say, you go, you go, you go, you go, you go, instead of making people a half hour late for the football game?
Yeah, and I don't know what happened, Tony. I'm just
I'm just saying
on my part. But.
No, if that's the case, so what I'm saying is, don't you at some point in game management say, hey, it's more important to get these people in here. We'll wand everybody, make sure you don't have a bomb on you. But if we let 110,000 people in here, we're going to let 110,000 people in. But if you show us on your phone you have a ticket, you're going to the game. I don't have to scan you today. That's
our issue up at the top of the hill was there's just not enough. There's just not enough landscape for all those people to be up there. That's one street leading up.
I can't imagine how miserable that must have been. Plus,
no, it was awful.
Like with what I'm going through with my back, you're on uneven terrain there, and people standing, and that ugh, to the phones we go.
It's 1,000 wonders people weren't falling out right and left because it was pretty warm,
and it got warm,
and there was just a mass of humanity up there jammed up against each other trying to get to the gate.
Bino, it got warm this weekend after 3 weeks. Yeah. After 3 weeks of really, really beautiful, moderate weather, it got warm. Let's go to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How you doing, Tony?
Stay right there. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, welcome in.
Fantastic game. I've got a little different take on it. I thought Agalar made some big-time plays. I think Agalar got away with a ton of mistakes. That if he plays like that, we're going to walk into a game against Arkansas or Mississippi State or even Vanderbilt, and he plays like that, well, he's going to turn the ball over 4 times. They're going to lose. 2 plays that, were magically touchdowns where the Georgia defensive back just couldn't play the ball.
Fell down. Really? That's why I can't.
That's not sustainable. So anybody that thinks this team is going like 11-1 and going to Atlanta is just wearing the orange glasses like I've never seen. We're an above-average team. We had a good team in our house on the ropes. You got to close that thing out. Georgia's good. They are not a Death Star anymore. They don't have the depth along the defensive line. Okay? In this era, they used to have 9 5-stars in their defensive line room. Well, now they got like 3 or 4. And if 1 or 2 of those kids bust, or gets hurt or is in the Athens County Jail, all of a sudden they're mortal up front. And that's where they always beat you. They can wreck the game by themselves. They don't have that anymore. They're a very good team. They're not elite. There are 3 elite teams.
Slow down for me before you get your 3 elite teams. Bino, he says that if Joey Agalar throws the ball, and he did throw a couple up that came down as touchdowns, just threw the ball up in the air. He says, Bino, that's not sustainable. What do you say to that before we get to our 3 elite teams? Go ahead, Bino.
I can see Mark's point, but after watching years and years of overthrows, I'd rather us throw it down as long as it's not a sideline mistake. If he's going to make mistakes on balls, he's throwing 50 yards down the field. I don't have a lot of problem with that.
I agree. Mark, I do think, though, what you're saying, even because I went back and rewatched it yesterday, and the thing that makes me scratch my head, and I'm watching it with Laura, we were up till 4 o'clock in the morning. She had to fix an audio issue that some of you encountered. She stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it wasn't solved till 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday, where we fixed that little gremlin that got in our audio yesterday, and she figured it out. So mega props to her for basically missing a night's sleep so that we could present to thousands of people professional audio, not acceptable audio, professional audio. But Mark in Columbus, the thing I cannot get is they had guys constantly falling down at the point of attack. They had a kid when we started the game. The first ball that was thrown to Brazil was a jump ball. The kid tried to commit interference. Their DBs were so bad, Mark, he couldn't even commit interference properly. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that. And we didn't throw it in the end zone. We did not throw it in the end zone when we got that turnover. It was ridiculous. Is what that
Tony,
is.
It was a pucker job.
It was a pucker. No, it was.
It was a pucker job.
I agree with
sorry.
that.
And then Josh Heupel has done wonderful stuff here.
I love him. Hey, the first quarter.
Amazing stuff here. He's rebuilt the program.
That's right.
It was a complete pucker job.
Hey, Mark,
okay?
the first quarter, like Bino was talking about, is the greatest quarter of offensive football since I've been here that I've ever seen anybody play. Steve Spurrier in the 90s, Urban Meyer, you name it. That's the best first quarter of football we've ever seen.
Tony, he had the game script exactly how he likes it. Offense is up and down the field. The defense is just out there at the time when my offense isn't on the field. The game script was exactly what he wanted. And the game went pretty much how I thought it would go. But this was such an opportunity because this team's not – they're kind of an above-average team. The defense is bad. I know there was injuries. They're bad. But you had a chance to, kind of almost lock away a playoff spot because Florida's going to be a corpse by the time we play them. And you even if you lose to Alabama and Oklahoma, you're going to be in the playoff. It was such a missed opportunity, and it's not dead yet. They can still, everybody in this league can beat each other, really. Outside of Kentucky, the league's just kind of a hodgepodge of above average to good teams. You got to close the door on your home field when you have a chance like that. Because, like I said, this Georgia team is not a Death Star. There are 3 elite teams: Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. And Penn State has a coach that cannot win a big game to save his life.
Yeah, he won't beat Oregon. You're exactly right.
The SEC, and nobody's a bigger SEC homer than me. We're not at the top. We're not as good as those guys. We're not.
No, I agree with that. No,
the depth is gone.
The Arch
and it's
Manning
not because
thing.
They have more money. It's because you don't construct teams the same way. Like I said, Georgia's not going to put 9 5-star defensive guys in their defensive line room and not spend money at other position groups. You just can't do it anymore.
Hey, Mark, the difference, too, is that in this league, I don't know that we have the elite teams because I think you're probably right. But from top to bottom in this league, it's never been stronger. It has never. We've never seen anything like this. Like that Vanderbilt bunch, everybody said, well, you can't play them because all the Joes are playing. They were going to – it didn't matter whether that kid was going to get hurt. They were going to beat that they were more physical than that South Carolina team. They just were.
I'm happy. Tony, I'm happy we're playing them late when their depth will be limited. I wouldn't want to play them this week. I wouldn't want to play them. Like the games that we have on our schedule that people are thinking, okay, W, Mississippi State, W. They ain't
I'm putting W next to anything. I agree. I said that on the post game. I agree with that.
And this defense, James Pierce wrecked an NFL game last night. We don't have one of him out there this year. And I know he kind of dogged it last year, but that guy was special. And there ain't a guy out there on our the back seven's kind of small and slow, they're kind of atrocious. And you're going to have to score 35, 40 points a game to win. It just is what it's going to be. What it's going to be. I don't think we're all that good, but I think we could be a playoff team because of the schedule. And if this kid can limit the mistakes, he got away with a lot yesterday. Don't get me wrong. He played a great game. That last drive would have made him a legend. I get it. He got away with a lot. And I'm not even talking about Nico anymore. Nico is completely broken. His dad should be arrested for what he did to that kid. So we're going to leave Nico out of this. It's irrelevant. Talking about Joey Aguilar. He got away with a lot yesterday.
Mark, thank you.
Georgia couldn't be on their feet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Well, Bino, and we'll have some of these numbers in a second, but Georgia's a playoff favorite out of the league right now. A&M's a playoff favorite out of the league right now, like the high favorites because of what happened over the weekend. You win games like that, and all of a sudden, a third into the season, Vegas says, "Yeah, you guys are ticketed for it." And I don't think those two teams are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I think they're both beatable. I cannot believe what's going on at Texas, Bino. Can you? I just can't believe it.
No, I can't either, Tony. I thought Arch would be a really good player. I did. I don't know really why I thought that, other than the fact that his family just rarely sends someone out there that can't. But he has really, really struggled.
That's the same UTEP team that Tennessee put 56 points on with Nico last year. And Texas, I don't think, got half of that.
I got some updated offshore lines I want to go through to Mark's point, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. We'll get some more calls in. But updated SEC playoff odds right now. Georgia minus 250, they're tops. Tennessee would have walked out of that game the leading candidate to be in the playoff if they would have won that game Saturday. That's kind of, like Bino said, it's kind of what you frittered away, and it's a shame because you outplayed them. You just outplayed them. And to Mark's point about how bad this defense is, the defense is beat up, Mark. I mean, come on now. I had a couple emails like, why weren't you ripping Tim Banks on the postgame show? What do you want him to do? Like I told Orange Throat today, you want him to get blood from a stone, Bino? I mean, they had a couple of stops, and they held him to a couple of field goals there in short fields.
Yeah, they were. While they, again, I'm disappointed anybody can run up 500 yards against us. Obviously, but they were opportunistic in the second half, especially. I know that we're getting picked on a little bit, but I actually think that the guys that are filling in right now are playing pretty well for the situation that they've been thrust into.
No doubt. I mean, those guys would be cornerbacks 3 and 4. And then you're down your two best defensive linemen, interior. I mean, come on. Anybody is.
For Redmond to have to go out there, I think Redmond was the lowest ranked player in this recruiting class.
Yes.
And he's out there playing just about every snap. He's going to be a really good corner.
I'm starting to think
he's going to go through baptism by fire, but he's going to be a really good corner.
We got so many conversations to have based off this season because I'm starting to think I reevaluate the way I do my recruiting if I'm Tennessee or anybody. I go get me a veteran quarterback every year. I do what Florida State's doing, with some of these other programs, like what Oregon's doing, I would go get that kid from Cal tomorrow. Like tomorrow. If it's me. I get a chance to see you play at this level and see whether or not you fit my offense. Till you walk on the field and play in one of those games, I don't know. I don't know. This is remarkable what we're seeing here. And the other thing that's kind of crazy is the league is as good as it's been from top to bottom. And there aren't elite teams. I don't think Georgia's an elite team. I agree with Mark. I agree with that. I don't think Alabama's elite. They're pretty good, though. They're better than you think they are. A lot of people throw dirt on them. Tennessee will be a 10.5-point underdog, or would be if they played right now in that game. I mean, that's just the reality of the deal. Here are the playoff odds, Bino. You tell me if this tracks with what you've seen. You ready?
Okay.
Georgia minus 200. They are the pole position favorite to get to the playoff. Texas minus 200. LSU minus 150. Alabama minus 140. And there probably will be 4, and then Alabama minus 140, and then Texas A&M minus 125, and then we get into the pluses. Ole Miss plus 200, Oklahoma plus 200, Auburn and Tennessee grouped together at plus 250, Missouri plus 400, Vanderbilt plus 1,000, and then South Florida, for our caller, South Florida, plus 1,500. Bino, what doesn't track there?
You know, Vanderbilt plus 1,000 might be the best value.
I mean, it's ridiculous. The league is ridiculous this year. How is Texas minus 200, Bino? Would you bet $1 on them to make a playoff right now?
That's the worst value.
Yeah, I would not, Tony. That's the one that kind of sticks out to me. That and maybe Alabama, because Alabama's already lost their biggest test so far this year.
That's right.
I think I probably would have waited until they beat Georgia to put them at that type of odds.
To the phones we go. I agree with that. So Alabama might be a good sell there, as might Texas, which would open up 2 spots. Texas A&M's never done anything in their adult lives. They're not making a playoff. Okay? They're just not. They'll find a way to lose 3 games from here. Why? Because that's who they are. That's how they roll. Kind of like Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss ain't making a playoff. So then you look at an Oklahoma, a Tennessee, maybe an Auburn can sneak in there with that running quarterback. Who knows? Crazy league.
Oklahoma's schedule is so brutal that I don't think that's a good one to pick.
I agree, Bri. 4 teams are going to go. That's why several in the Vol Nation are extremely hopeful. It's going to be really interesting from here. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What do you say, Tom?
Hey, Philly.
How you been on, Brian?
Doing great, buddy. Good talk to you.
What do you say, Philadelphia?
Well, we've seen a lot of heartbreaking losses at Neland Stadium to Georgia in our lifetime. I go back to 73 fake punt game and the 1980 Herschel game, and then that game this past Saturday.
Yeah, and then I don't remember what year it was, Phil, but the year that we were going in to score at the end of the first half, and they basically took the ball away and ran it like 99 yards for a touchdown on almost the last play of the first half.
Like 2015.
That was Casey Clausen.
Took us out of that game. So, yeah, we've there's been a number of those Georgia games like that. Alabama too.
The hobnail boot game comes to mind with Ron Haynes.
I was talking about that one. That was awful too.
Yeah.
When we pooch kicked at the end of the game for some reason.
Yep.
But guys, when you play not to lose and you play scared, you don't win.
I think when you get in the ring with a champ, Phil, you got to knock a champ out. I do agree with that.
And our defense coordinator, he's making $2 million, and I mean, he should add more depth in there. I mean, I know how all these guys being injured at Outlaw. It's early in the year.
It's not his Philly. The injuries are not his fault, and he's got 4 frontline guys, including a top 10 pick in the draft, hurt. Come on now, be fair to the guy. Come on, guys.
Well, their safety play is not very good, and we don't have an elite pass rusher. Herring's about the only one on their team that's a good pass rusher.
Well, he had a really good game Saturday, and the thing about Elijah Herring is that he's kind of a middle of the rotation guy on their defensive line, basically. I mean, they rotate so many guys.
Hey, I had a question, guys, that I miss when I'm at the game.
Yeah.
But I had buddies that tell me, and I know we rotate defensive linemen in and out, but I had buddies that tell me that we did not have our best 2 pass rushers on the field on the play, on the 28-yard touchdown play.
That's correct, Bino. They had a rotate. They were caught in a rotation. That's correct.
That's something that I think you can definitely question. I think you should have your very best lineman out there in the biggest play of the game.
Well, a guy emailed me and said Tennessee should have taken a timeout there. Like you see some of these coaches take a time, and then you make sure your right personnel is in the game. I think that's an accurate thought. You know, again, look, the kids played great. Neither head coach had a terrific day. I didn't think Kirby had his best day either. But man, that's what's so great about this sport is the second guessing nature of it, guys. And there's a lot to second guess after that game. But one thing's for sure, Philly, this coach is a damn good young coach. It's a shame to give that game back the way they did, Phil.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, Harbaugh lost to Ohio State, about 5 years in a row, and then
he did.
Beat them 3 in a row.
Sure, he did.
But I don't know if Heupel's a Harbaugh. I mean, that's a
well.
And I was wondering why Star Thomas wasn't in the game there at the end in overtime.
Don't understand that, Phil. Again, don't understand that. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think Star is their. You know, I love Bishop. I think Star is their best all-around back.
And Bino, in that he had to shake and wiggle in that game. He was getting outside and he was getting downhill.
Yeah.
2 things you want in those signature games: get me outside and get me downhill, man.
Yeah.
And if that field goal kicker misses another field goal, I would never have him on. I would do like Johnny Majors would do, don't never play again.
Oh, come on, Phil. He had a nice year last year. Come on now.
Yeah, but it's all about money now on these game-winning field goals. You either produce or you don't. That's a $1 million miss right there, buddy.
Oh, it's more than that. It's probably a $20 million miss.
Yeah.
Keeps you out of a playoff.
How come Danny White didn't have it all figured out before the ball game over there? I've had several of my friends who are very pissed right now.
Well,
it wasn't good, Phil. It wasn't good.
The lovely Laura said to me today, and she's right. She said, when you win, you don't hear these things. When you lose, you get your AD on social media apologizing for the way the game went, and then you get everybody at everybody's throat. So.
Yeah, I'll close with that. That's an excellent point by your wife, John. Tony.
You got that right. See you, brother. And by the way, I'm telling you, she was up to like 4 o'clock in the morning the other day trying to figure out how to get I said, what are you doing? Because I can never sleep after doing the post-game show. I have to sit down here and drink coffee and get myself all hype. And I'm doing Garzaloff 5th quarter fan reaction, and she goes, the sound. Because our recording computer in here blew up Friday. Brian knows about that. We've had something in here, it's like 16 years old. They don't make these anymore. It's an old MacBook Pro analog sound thing. It sounds utterly perfect. We kept it offline for 16 years. It worked like a charm, and now it's gone. If anybody fixes old computers like that, please reach out to me. I'll put a couple $100 in your pocket if you can bring that thing back to life. I love that computer. But, so we have these gremlins in the sound. She's sitting there all night long trying to fix it. And then falls asleep, basically, fooling around with it, and then wakes up at 9 o'clock and goes, Eureka, I got an idea. And sure enough, it cleaned it up. We are not a big radio company here. We are not making a killing doing this. We love what we do, and we do what we love. But, man, I'm telling you. And then today, people saw this earlier. I'm trying to get this thing up here with the Twitter Spaces video because we want to accommodate people however they want to digest the show. Our YouTube channel is really growing. Twitter Spaces we have up. If you want to do that and put your phone down and drive around and listen to them talk behind the scenes. Twitter videos, same kind of thing. If you want to watch us talk behind the scenes and look at how damn ugly I'm getting, whatever. The arm that holds this thing up was not cooperating today on top of everything else. And I took the freaking phone and threw it on the ground. Because, Bino, that's what happens when you lose games. Everybody's on snap alert. Things that don't set you off, if we're honest about it, set you off. Things that shouldn't make you angry, make you angry. Laura's looking at me going like this. Calm down. Calm down. You know, I'm just a guy, man. And when you don't sleep, kind of wears you out, wears on you. The thing I go back to, Bino, is that game, and I don't know if Columbus said that Heupel puckered up. I don't know if that's – I don't like how that sounds. I just think it was a wasted opportunity. That's all. Puckered up connotes he went into a shell. I don't think this guy's a go into a shell guy, Bino. He never has been. Now, he did it with Nico because he had to, but that was good coaching when they did it with Nico, who Mark all of a sudden doesn't want to talk about. I told you he sucked, Mark. I told you. All of a sudden, we don't want to talk about him.
I'd have paid him.
I mean, we don't want to talk about him, Mark. We don't want to talk about him, Mark. Not that I'm dunking on you, but he sucks. He sucked. He sucks, and he sucked.
I'd have paid him.
Come on, Mark.
I'd have paid him.
Don't blame his father for breaking it.
I'd have paid him. It's Dad.
He was never an entity to begin with, Mark. He was in your imagination.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, again, I would have handled that series differently than the way it was handled. And again, I would have liked to have seen how we would have approached it if we'd have started 1st and 10 rather than 1st and 15. I think it would have been different. I don't know that it would have been different.
Another item here. C just texted me on Vegas power ratings. I want to get to that because Vegas has Tennessee in the top half of the league right now, power rated, but not at the top, not among the top 4, but somewhere in that middle top, which it might be good enough this year when the dust settles. But boy, we let a golden opportunity go. I'm not going to use the term puckered up. I'm not going to use that term. But I was angry Saturday after the game at the head coach, and now I'm conflicted because he's done such a nice job, and they just let one get away, man. Shouldn't have lost that game. Kirby Smart, hey, after the game, did you see what he said, Bino, on the field? He said
we should have won.
Yeah, he said the better team did not win today, and the better coach team did not win today. He said, but my guys are tough. And Bino's right. You will not see a better throw and catch, which is what makes college football the sport that it is. That catch in the end zone, that was one hell of a great throw. And Humphreys, his adjustment, Bino, on that ball going out of bounds. Yeah. I mean, that looked like Willie Mays in the Polo Grounds, Bino, how he caught that ball.
Yeah, it was just it was just executed perfectly, Tony. It was right in front of me. You know, we really couldn't have covered it any better.
It's great coverage.
He just threw it in the one spot that only his guy could catch it. Tony, I was watching the Colts yesterday, and they're kicking a field goal to win the game and push it off to the right, just like Max did. And Denver gets called for leveraging, jumping over the top of the line of scrimmage, and we get a second opportunity. And I was just thinking, man, why couldn't that have happened yesterday? Why couldn't Max have gotten a second shot instead of the Colts?
You know what the truth is? Because Denver's a loser.
You think he made it?
Denver is a
yes.
Denver's a loser organization, Bino, right? And Georgia is a championship bunch. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. My Eagles yesterday won in Kansas City. They had no business winning that game. One of our mutual friends, Bino, texted me and said, your team is a bunch of P words. And the tush push is the biggest P move in all pro football. How do you plead? And I said, I plead that we won a Super Bowl. We've won 2 in 4 years or 2 in 5 years, and we're working on another. So that's how I plead. And if every other team in the league could do it, they would do it. I mean, Kansas City basically onside kicked the ball to the Eagles because they know these guys are in 4-down territory, and if they want, they'll just tush push the ball. They'll just do that twice. I mean, that's – Bino, should they outlaw that before we go back to our phones? Should they outlaw that in the NFL in your mind?
I personally don't think so, Tony, because I don't understand why Philadelphia is the only team that can make it work. Why is that? If they can make it work, why can't other teams make it work?
To the phones we go. Bill, welcome in, brother.
Tony, looks like there's going to be another nail put into Brian Callahan's coffin.
What's that?
I'll tell you, the Titans do not have an offensive line.
Right.
Let's see. There's one player there that forced a fumble, Cam Ward, which led into a touchdown. They are just not a good football team.
Bill, Brian Callahan is 3-14. He is in since he's been there, he's in an impossible spot with a bad organization.
He's 3-16 now.
I'm sorry, 3-16. He's got a bad organization. I think they've got a good young quarterback. But, he's in an impossible spot, isn't he, Callahan? I mean, Andy Reid couldn't win there, Beanstar.
Yeah, I think that's a multi-year rebuild there.
Yeah, and he's going to get fired.
With the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to get fired because he doesn't – what's the word on Callahan? He just doesn't bring anything to the table. And he looks like a loser on the sidelines, which doesn't help.
He's another one that's related. He's related. That's how he gets jobs.
Yeah, he's like that. Like they used to say to me on the job sites when my family business, you're related. You're related.
I'll tell you, Tony, he is more of a Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt type of guy that is not fit to be a head football coach.
Butchie boys should have beaten Iowa State the other night, guys. They got totally screwed. Did y'all see that? Screw job. Go look it up.
I didn't see it, Tony.
They got Iowa State. Iowa State got away with one. Old Arky State should have won a game. The Big 12 is a mess right now, by the way.
I'm not sure Vanderbilt wouldn't win the Big 12.
Vanderbilt's legit. People can laugh. Vanderbilt is legit. They are legit, Bri.
I think there's probably 10 SEC teams that could win the Big 12, if not more.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Bri. That's a really good call by you.
So, but Tony, I'll tell you what, I am not going to lose my loyalty toward my team. I'm hanging in there.
Can you, change the – how do we say this tactfully, Bino? Hang on, Bill. Bill, close your ears. Can you real quick? Can you close your ears?
Sure.
Okay. Bino, how do we ask him to talk about something else when he calls in? Because the Titans are what we call a dead issue.
It's a caller-driven radio show, Tony.
I don't know.
Bill can talk about what he wants to talk about,
and
then you can decide how long he gets to talk about.
If Mark in Columbus was here, what would he tell Bill about the Titans 2 weeks in, Bino? Brian.
Dad. They're dad.
And you're out of here. 865-200-5402.
They're dad.
Josh Heupel. He goes, he puckered up. Heupel puckered up. And Joey Agalar is going to throw 5 interceptions. I mean, come on, Mark. You need to relax, Mark. And you need to own the Nico thing, Mark. I love you, but we don't call the show and say, no, we're not going to talk about that. Yes, we are, Mark. Yes, we are. Because Nico wouldn't be here if the Polynesian prince And he who held
Joey Agalar wouldn't be here.
And Joey Agalar wouldn't be here if the Polynesian Prince and he who held the limbo stick didn't pull their power play. So, yes, we are going to talk about it. Yes, we are. I'll report and you'll decide, you clown, after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place that's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
It is a Monday. Tony B back with you. Let's keep it live, legal, and local.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Breaking it down scientifically, back to our TLD logistics phone lines we go. Just kind of picking up the pieces on this Monday and trying to make sense of what we saw, where this thing is going. Where it's going is a very compelling and interesting football season. A little later on in the hour, we'll go through some of the offshore numbers as they're updated for Tennessee. And just one quick nugget. Vegas, the way they're ranking the teams right now in the SEC, even though Bama has a loss, Bino, tell me what you think of this. Vegas thinks Bama's the best team in the league, followed by Georgia and Texas, followed by LSU and A&M, with Tennessee and Oklahoma grouped together.
I don't know what they're basing their Alabama stuff on, Tony. Obviously, Ty's been pretty good the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Real good on Saturday.
Yep.
But that's against a Heupel and a team that's not nearly what we're accustomed to them being in Wisconsin.
Top 3 teams with the greatest of ease to make the playoffs right now in college football are all reside in one league because it is a top-heavy league. There's no middle, and the bottom of it is an absolute joke. Ohio State's minus 1,000, Oregon's minus 400, Penn State's minus 400. And then one little quick look-ahead line for the Tennessee game. Tennessee with Alabama right now, just to show you what they think of Alabama. The Vols are a 9-point underdog, not 10.5. I misread it. The Vols are a 10.5-point underdog, favorite rather, with Kentucky, but they're a 9-point underdog with Alabama, which seems a little high to me, if not a lot high.
I'm sure it was lower after the Florida State game.
Back to the phones we go. 9's the number today, which is kind of shows you what they think of the Tide. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Bean O'Brien. Thanks, guys, for being there as always.
Hey, brother.
Hey, I have 6 things, and I'm going to try to roll through them super fast. One is Texas versus elite Ohio State, who there's 3 elite teams in college football, Ohio State being one of them. Ohio State was outgained by 100 yards on their own field and won 14-7 against a Texas team that doesn't have a quarterback. Don't tell me Ohio State's elite. They may be, but it's impossible to tell in that conference how good those 3 teams are. They don't play anybody. We think Oregon's elite because they didn't cover versus Northwestern at a high school field, or actually a practice field turned into like a makeshift high school field. And they scored 69 on the mullet from Stillwater. Come on.
Yeah, I agree, Rusty. I don't think we know. I don't think we know that those 3 teams are elite either. I think that the SEC, top of the SEC is going to be so much more tested that we may not know who's elite in the Big Ten until we get to the very end. I think those 3 teams are very good. They may be the 3 best teams in the country, but I don't know that.
They're very good. LSU's very good. Georgia's very good.
LSU doesn't have much of an offense.
They're struggling on offense, but they're still very good. You don't go to Clemson and win at night down there if you're not very good.
As bad as they say Florida is, they've only given up 2 offensive touchdowns in 3 games.
Yeah. Notre Dame's very good, and they're 0-2. I would take Notre Dame going up against Penn State on a neutral field and feel pretty good about it. And they're 0-2. Jeez Louise, elite 3 teams. Somebody's getting caught up in the northern hype living up there. Balls that should be picked that turned into touchdowns. Anytime a coach gets a one-on-one with not a double coverage downfield and you got a 6'5" receiver, you throw the ball up to him and give that receiver a chance to win. And the receiver is supposed to win. There's a reason why stupid ESPN has their whole segment, You Got Mossed. It's because big receivers beat little corners or little safeties. It's supposed to happen. Georgia did it to us. They threw up jump balls when they got one-on-one coverage is all they did all day, and picked on a freshman who's going to be a great player. Those are bad decisions. If you see a guy covering a guy singled up, you throw it up. Everybody does it. Ohio State beat Texas because late in the ball game, the same kid threw up a prayer to Carnell Tate, and Tate made a juggling catch in one-on-one coverage where the defender was in perfect position. Was that not the right play? Good God, the stupidity. Number 3.
Are you shooting at Mark? Are you shooting at Mark in Colombo right now? You're going out on him.
Who I love, by the way. I think Mark's a great dude.
I love Mark, but he don't want to talk about. He don't want to talk about Nico all of a sudden. We're not allowed to talk about him, Rusty. Moratorium on Nico.
Nobody ripped Tennessee more than me over the Nico situation when it initially happened, but I'm able to say something that some people, Mark and a few others, aren't. I was wrong. Try that, fellas.
Marky! We're doing business with Colombo right now, Bino. It's caller-on-caller crime. But you're right. Hey, Mark, you don't just come on here now after shooting. You're just shooting off, just going off. And then you turn
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. And therefore, it's not going to be talked about on here. Mark, that's not how it works. Rusty, is that ever how it works?
I don't want.
Is that ever
code for I don't want to admit I was wrong?
Okay, that's not how it works, Mark. It's just not how it works. Not in my world it isn't, because I say I'm wrong all the time. Like on our wide receivers, I was wrong. Hello. Yep. But I'm going to have takes. We're all going to have takes. And you know what?
Yep.
When you're a takesman and you're not afraid to have takes, you know, you're going to swing, you're going to miss, but you're going to swing and hit sometimes too. It's all right.
Sometimes it's okay to admit it. After the fumble, Starr should have been in the ball game.
Yeah.
On 1st and 15, Bishop tackled himself on what would have been a 9-yard run. There was nobody near him. We blocked it perfectly, and Bishop tripped over his own 2 feet going through the hole and ended up getting 2 yards. On the 3rd down on that play, it was an RPO when we handed it off. And if Joey just pulls the ball out and throws it to the flat to Staley like he's supposed to on RPO when the defense lines up a certain way, it goes for like 12 yards. Josh lost his mind after that 3rd down play because Joey just made a mistake and handed it instead of pulling it. That's unfortunate. Number 4, if Josh Heupel coached not to lose, what did Kirby do? Because Kirby, on 4th and 2 from the goal, on 4th and goal from the 2-yard line, settled for a field goal. You're not supposed to do that. The chart says you punch it in. We crucified Butch Jones for the Oklahoma game for doing the same thing.
Kirby wasn't good Saturday. That's even more reason you should have beaten him.
After we threw the pick where Staley fell down, which of course is Joey's fault, Mark, they settled for a field goal from the 25-yard line on a 4th and 3. The chart says you go for it there. You don't settle for a field goal on 4th and 3 inside the 30. So if Josh coached not to win, did Kirby coach not to win?
Yes, they both did. It was weird.
Okay.
Yes.
But people are saying Kirby, but I've heard Tons say Kirby outcoached him.
No, they both had bad days. Georgia just won the game.
They did.
They both had bad days.
We didn't make a field goal, and they ran it 55 times, and we ran it 24. We averaged the same yards per carry. They just ran it more than we did and stayed committed to the run, and we maybe didn't enough. Same yards per carry, 3.7 for us and 3.6 for them. They carried it 31 more times than we did. Lastly, number 5, Stockton versus man-to-man coverage. When we played man the other day, completed 84% of his passes. When we played zone, he completed 38. And we kept giving him easy read, man-to-man shots, and would blitz. And all he would do is say, "Where's number 4 on defense? My guy's going to go deep, and I'm just going to throw it up whenever you show me that." It's very easy on a guy who hasn't played much football when you give him that easy look saying, "Oh, he's just covering one-on-one and there's nobody going to help him. I'm just going to throw it." There's a reason why Stockton was able to complete those and why zone's hard. It's because he's young. The 2 weeks before, the 2 teams, the 2 cupcakes, dropped 8 into coverage and played big zone. He didn't know where to go with the football. But if you show him man and no help anywhere, it makes it easy for a quarterback to decipher what he needs to do with the football. And we made it too easy for him, especially on the 4th and 7.
Rusty, thank you. Bino, your thoughts? Because I think he brings up a good point. I just hate that we lost a game we should have won. That's all. Golden opportunity. Golden ticket, golden opportunity.
Yeah, those there's just no way to get around the hurt of those, Tony, and we always are going to look for reasons. I actually think both of those coaches had pretty good days and bad moments.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
I think bad days is an overstatement. I don't think Heupel had a bad day at all. He may have had some bad moments.
Those moments.
He didn't have a bad day with us playing that team off their feet.
Those moments though really define you. Like I had a couple emails from people that were like, "I'm done with this guy. He's proven to me he can't do it in a big game." I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what you want to take from it. Because I am not a tell you how to think guy. I'm just not. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It's not correct. It's not correct. This guy has done really wonderful job. Georgia has more players than Tennessee. They're physically better. But even at that, you're in the game. They have more playmakers than you do. But you're in the game. Tell you one thing, that Zachariah Branch guy, Bino, when he turned a corner on that play, that looked like Rocket Ismail to me. When he come off the crown of that field,
Yeah,
that was insane,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, you can see what they saw in him. He's got some special ability. He's a good player.
They don't hardly use him, Bino, too. That's the other thing. They don't keep him out there. In a college football game, I would have a guy like that, and that's why I would put Boo Carter on offense some. I make you tackle him in the open field. I'm sorry. Fair catching punts. I mean, that's not a good use of Boo Carter's skills. Because that's all special teams are now. These guys, we got these Australian guys that hold the ball an extra second now. How many punt returns do we even see in college football anymore? Unless you're playing East Tennessee State.
You don't see punt returns. You don't see kickoff returns either.
No. You need to
Did we see one kickoff return Saturday? I don't think there was one Saturday.
Brian,
and there was lots of opportunities.
Brian, they need to go to the rule the XFL brought in that the NFL uses now, where it puts special teams back in play, and the guys don't get hurt because the collisions are not as fierce. When we first saw the NFL thing, Bino, you have to admit it looked funny. It's very effective. That was a good thing that came out of that.
It still looks funny.
Old XFL, Bino. It was a good thing. At least it's interesting now.
I agree, Tony. If you want to return to be a part of the game, that's what you're going to have to do, because these kickers are just kicking it out of sight now. I was thinking about returns. Their punter was, well, ours was too. Their punter was really good.
Yes.
And I think that Boo may have returned 2 punts, and one of them he shouldn't have.
That's exactly right.
He should have called a fair catch.
And that's the other thing about it is when you're him and you're antsy to make a play, you're going to try to make plays that aren't there because you want to impact the game because he knows.
Yeah.
I don't want to fair catch this ball. It's like wasting food.
Yeah.
But at the same time, discretion's a better part of valor. And it's going to be hard for a guy like him to be discreet because he knows if I get this ball in my hands, I can beat these people. You got to put him on offense some, man. I know he's kind of a knucklehead and he was this and that in the summer. You got to let him play some offense. We got to live a little here. Hello, and I'm not asking you to turn the guy into the Hunter guy. I'm not. Who's doing it, by the way, on both ends for Brian's Jaguars, and he got a phantom interference penalty called on him yesterday in that loss to Cincinnati. Brian's Jags are pretty good, y'all. Back to the phones we go.
That was a rough weekend.
That was a horrible call. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our Monday edition. You're on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Hi.
Hey, guys. Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Colombo there, boy, that was awful. I mean, you talking about Tennessee? They're a little above average. I mean, our offense is elite. We have an elite offense again. We do. So that we're going to have a chance to win every game. I think the defense is banged up, especially on the line. We're starting our starting corners are out. We're going to definitely get McCoy back. Then you'll have Hood on the other side. We're going to get Moy back at some point. We're going to get our deep tackle back, and we're getting. We had freshmen on that defensive line Saturday, and Guy and Utley, and those guys are. It's just going to make them better down the road. The experience. Now, as far as who's the elite teams in the country, well, 2025 rosters. Georgia has the highest has the best overall roster, the most 5 stars and the most 4 stars. They have 70. Out of their 85. So Ohio State's good, but to say that Georgia is just what they are, and Ohio State and Penn State and Oregon, I mean, well, that was pretty specific, wasn't it? All 3 teams in the Big Ten. But listen, we've got a quarterback that can play the system. And we talked about this in the off season. That it doesn't matter about being 5-star. It's a guy that can play within that system and hit the guys on time. Do you not agree?
You are 100% correct. If I'm in a Southeastern Conference team and I'm looking at what's going around the league, first of all, South Carolina hit on a guy that was 21 in his class, and he was the hit of the class. 21. He's 4-star guy. These 5-star guys are a whisper and a joke. Okay? The guy at Michigan right now, he's not ready to play. He's a 5-star kid, but he should be sitting this year. But you take these guys, you invest all the money in them, you feel compelled to stick them on the field before they're ready, and God knows what you're going to get down the line. Arch Manning is in year 3, okay? He was supposed to be the elite of the elite of the elite, and Joey Agalar is a better player than he is. The guy that led the nation in interceptions last year. Here's the question. How many Joey Aguilars are there out there every year? You know what I think? There are a lot of them, Bino.
Exactly.
If they're given opportunities, there are a lot of them.
Here's what worries me, Tony, is that they know. I mean, it was obvious that Nico couldn't run this offense last year.
Correct.
And it was obvious that most likely he couldn't run all this offense this year. That was going to be pretty obvious. You cannot tell me that Nico would come in and run our offense like the guy we got right now.
Bino, in your mind, would we be in the spot we're in right now with the hope we have in a wide-open SEC if Nico was our quarterback, Bino? In your mind?
No, there's no way. I don't think the Georgia game would have been any different than the recent ones we've seen if he was still our quarterback.
And Mark in Columbus, who I love to death, he just had some terrible takes today, but I love him. We're not allowed to talk about Nico, but here's Josh Heupel. Thank you, Dave. When Dave has a great – can you bring that over here because this thing's malfunctioning? This is par for the course. Par for the course. Here's Josh Heupel.
But good morning, good energy, and a lot of things that we're in control of that have an opportunity to change that game, coaches and players. And at the end of the day, in this game, man, you got to constantly move forward, and you got to take advantage of every day, and you can't look in the rearview mirror. You got to look out the windshield and keep driving forward. So good morning with the guys. We got an opportunity to be back home, see our fans again this coming week. Early kickoff, expect them to be a part of the game here on Saturday. We need a great week of preparation, continued growth, and get ready to go play our next football game and play in a great way. So open it up.
Questions? Start with Austin.
Josh, where's David Sanders at physically and then even mentally? Where's he at? Because I'm sure he's wanting to play.
Yeah, mentally, I think anytime anybody in this game gets injured and isn't cleared to play, it's a tough battle mentally. You grow, you compete, you strain to get yourself prepared to go play, and he has certainly done that. And unique injury that doctors are uncertain. That's why he's kind of been day to day for a while here, and uncertain. It's not like a sprained ankle, and I say that meaning there's not a definitive timeline, and so he's been having to fight through that. Guy wants to be out there. It hurts him badly. Our football team, guys in his position room can see that. But he's been a good teammate too, and I think as a young guy, staying the course through something that's a little bit unknown is hard. He's done a good job with it. Just got to continue to do that, and hopefully our doctors clear him here at some point relatively quickly.
Is it one of those things where you talk about no timeline, but literally you wake up
It is. That's why he's been day to day. He's not, I'm going to say, in control of it. Our medical staff is doing everything that they can. It's a little bit of an unknown time frame. You could wake up tomorrow and be ready to go. And, obviously he's had some time, some healing, and we hope that happens before we get to Saturday.
And just to follow that up, the
the decision of David not to play so far has not come to your desk yet. That's a medical decision, right?
And our medical staff always handles. Guys are okay to play, in this game. After day one in pads, nobody's feeling 100%, right? But it always goes through our medical staff, and they handle those decisions.
And Jermod, on Jermod McCoy, is there potential he could play before the off week, or is that way too optimistic at this point?
Before the first off week? I don't know the timeline on Jermod, and I say that meaning he's gotten started, back out on the field, how his body responds, and also being ready to go play and compete are all things that he's got to continue to prepare for. He wants to be out there. He's been a great teammate. He's done a really good job in his rehab too, and so has our medical team. So it's all about how we can get him being prepared to actually go out there and play.
Through the first 3 games, how would you evaluate your third down defense?
Been some really good things, and then some things that we haven't done well enough. At times we've applied great pressure to the quarterback. Other times we can be better in it. Some of that's our pressure packages adjusting to the formations that they're seeing. And at times we played really good coverage, and at some times we've given up some things that we feel like we're in control of too. Can be alignment, technique, whatever it might be. That's an area where we can continue to get better.
Coach, just right here in front, what's one big adjustment, if anything, you need to see from your defense going into this week?
We got to do a great job against the run, but with who we're facing, what they do offensively, shift trade motions, communications, all 3 level, and then pass defense. But again, when I talk pass defense, you guys hear me say this a lot. It's all 11 being a part of that. It's communication, second and third level. It's pattern recognition in our zone concepts, and then it's applying pressure to the quarterback, which can be just your front 4, but it can also be any of your 11 that are in that package.
Caleb Herring told us before the season that he kind of fell out of love with the game of football after last season. He had to find that passion and all that again, and then to have a game like he did against Georgia. How is he a different player but also person this season?
Yeah, I think just mentally, has a real focus on what he wants to accomplish. Caleb's a guy that's had to deal with some injuries that have set him back from, sometimes just the opportunity to play, but also just the opportunity to grow as a player during your practices. And super mature, cares about the guys. He's got great energy every single day. Guys that keep investing in this game reap the rewards. It's not always on your time, my time, but you're going to reap the rewards of it. And he's continued to grow and play really well.
Coach, where do you think you are in terms of developing some depth, and how worrisome is just the amount of snaps some guys are playing? I understand last game's an empty the bucket game, it's all out, okay. But how worrisome is the volume of snaps some guys are playing right now?
Yeah, sometimes with injury, guys get forced into playing more of a load than you anticipate. But the other part of it is, that was a challenge to some of our young guys this morning. They got to continue to grow where we can trust them out there. So certainly in a ball game, but also just the totality of the season.
Patrick in Austin. Coach, Chris Breslow, I think, has already exceeded his receiving yardage total from last season in 3 games. What's been the biggest difference for him through the first 3 games that's allowed him to make the plays he has?
I think attention to detail has been a huge part of his success. Understanding coverage, understanding, his role in the scheme, playing with great fundamentals and technique, and he's playing really confident, going up and attacking the football, and did a great job Saturday, and has the first couple of weeks too.
Where's David Hobbs in his recovery process? And then same thing with Jackson Moy.
Yeah, Moy day to day. Hobbs continues to do a really good job in his rehab. How fast that progresses here, I can't give you an answer today, but he's done a really good job. Hopefully, we'll have him back soon too.
Josh, how did you evaluate the performance of the linebackers on Saturday? And with some of the motions and quick stuff Georgia does, was that a bit of an issue at times for those guys?
I think all in all, there were a lot of things that were really positive from them in identification, communication, and fundamentals and technique within the scope of the scheme. There's a few things that we didn't hit on. Some of that could have been our pressure. All in all, as a football team, we weren't good enough on Saturday, coaches and players together.
Coach, just what do you think your team learned about themselves on Saturday? And I'm not talking about moral victories, just to play in that team that way and coming, what did they come out of that team, that game with their identity?
Yeah, there's no moral victories in this game. We're certainly long past anything like that. I think competitive makeup, competitive composure, the ability to go play the next play, that's important in big games. I thought they handled themselves well majority of the night in that. I think looking at the film today, like the ownership that each individual person has to take in the things that they can do where it's not me that allows a play to unfold. There's going to be competitive plays that you don't make, man. You're playing good competition. But it's the things that you give away in this game that hurt you.
Where would you like to see the offensive line grow the most, especially maybe when it comes to picking up the blitz and recognizing pressure?
Yeah, well, some of that's all 11 being on the same page too, right? Quarterback knowing where you're hot, when you're hot, how you got to get rid of the football, where the hot answer is. Some of that's running backs, tight ends, and then the 5 guys up front. There's been a lot of really good things in our protection. There's some things that are unique to handle that we got to handle in a better way off of some of our pull pro. But all in all, there's been a lot of really good. Joey's been clean a lot of the time, and that's allowed us to get open down the field too.
What's the challenge of getting young players to understand the small details of things, because it's at a level that they've not experienced coming out of high school? How do you convey to them that one small detail can mean that big of a deal in a game?
Well, it's showing them. That can be in the position room, can be in the unit room, can be in the team room. Small little details matter. Back to me, back away, my leverage that I got to play with. My eyes, the discipline that you have to have, formation, motion, shift, trade, all of those things. And, defensive football, there's checks, and all 11 got to get on the same page too. And you can see that as you're watching the tape. Is it harder for a young guy? Yeah, because he doesn't have any of those experience where it was him. That's got to be the focal point, and it has been for our coaches and our leadership in all those rooms. Not just during game week, but you've heard me say young guys don't have time to be young since January, right? So all those things got to come into it.
Last question, Patrick. Coach, you talked at the top about moving on after a game like that. Is that easy for you to do as a coach? Is it easier for you to do as a coach than you were as a player? Just
Man, there's nothing easy about the disappointment of competing in the arena and being on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Nothing easy about that. But as a coach, man, you got to move forward. You watch the tape as a staff on Sunday morning, and then you got to move forward too. And your players, they're in the building on Sunday. They come in on Monday. They're going to watch the tape with our staff on Monday. Man, when you get done with that team meeting before you go on the field, you gotta flush it. And that's true whether you win or lose. It's always about progress, moving forward, and what's coming the following week. Ultimately, last Saturday, defined that week, right? We got another one this Saturday that will define this week, and we got to find a way to continue to grow. All right, appreciate it.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Fall officially begins this month, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the Triple Wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey,
Advent.
whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B. TB back with you on the one, the only. Josh Heupel was pretty forthcoming about the David Sanders deal. My understanding is that's been a real mystery around him. Real mystery. And I believe, talking to people, that it has to do with his neck and some nerve pain that they can't abate. And there's just a lot of that's a tough deal. I mean, for me going through what I just went through, I'll just tell you this. That nerve pain thing, that's mental and physical. It's very difficult. And I'm not a football player. So I couldn't imagine the concept of going on a football field, banging heads with somebody with real nerve pain on you. And that's sort of what he's going through right now. I thought Heupel was pretty forthcoming in that. 865-200-5402. Tennessee's functioned very well, absent of Sanders. You've got to tip your cap to that offensive line, and the concept,
and the coach,
and the concept that you downgrade Tennessee because Georgia's not an elite. I don't think Georgia's an elite team after watching them Saturday, but I don't downgrade the Vols. Tennessee's got a nice football team and a real opportunity here. Now, am I going to proclaim that they're going 11-1 from here? No, I'm not. Absolutely not. But they could still scratch a playoff appearance, which would be a hell of a year. In a year where you were left without your starting quarterback? I mean, are you kidding me? That we're even having that conversation is remarkable. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How my friends and compatriots doing today?
Doing great, W. Lynn. Welcome in.
Well, I'm proud of my Tennessee Volunteers, and I just keep telling everybody we're still in the hunt for a playoff and just got to take one game at a time. But I have 4 points to make, if you will allow me, Tony. Number one, my daughter was at the game and gave me a full report on how chaotic and madness was going on. She said if I'd have been there, I'd have completely snapped. She was in a crowd in the concourse where she said she could have picked her feet up and not fallen down. That's how packed they were. And that finally a policeman jumped on top of a cooler of some kind, a drink cooler, and started yelling, everybody going this way, get on the right side, and everybody going. And she just said it was awful. It's terrible. So whatever they can do, they need to do it before the next game.
W. Lynn, if it was a malfunction, and I got to talk to some people and find out exactly, get the scoop on exactly what happened, because I didn't realize it was that profuse or severe. You got to let people through the gates next time. You can't have stuff like that. From what people are describing, what Bino's describing, I mean, it's a hot day. You're asking for it. At that point, you let people through the gates. You wand them, make sure nobody's carrying a bomb or something, and then you let them through the gates.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. But point number 2, when we got the fumble, I did think of what I talked to Coach Majors about several years. When you get a turnover, go for the juggler. So I thought that too. Then we got the penalty. Now, Rusty did point out a run that somebody fell down. But on that third down RPO, even though he didn't pass, Heupel was furious because we missed a block or a Georgia player just made a great play. We were one grasp away from a 10 to 20-yard run on that third down. So I don't think it was totally being conservative, but I'm with you, Tony. I would have thrown something to where if it couldn't be caught in the end zone, maybe it'd just be batted out of the back. But that's here nor there. I heard some former Vols on the show Saturday say kicking the field goal is not that bad of an idea because our defense had held them to 3 field goals. So who knew they were going to hit a miracle, peerless push-off price in the end zone play? So my third point is I said this to my group, and everybody kind of looked at me funny, but when we got it to the 20-yard line and it was third down with 7 seconds left, I said go out there right then and kick the field goal because if you fumble the snap, the guy can just fall on it, and you got 4th down. Otherwise, it's just a 37-yard field goal. Did any of you guys think about that?
I've always been a fan. I've always been a fan of kicking on third down. Yes, I don't understand, Bino, unless you're centering the ball. What's in it for you to run that play? Now, if you're centering the ball, that's a different story, and maybe you center the ball there, Bino. But I don't understand why you'd risk that in that spot. Kick the field goal on third down.
I think they wanted to go down. They wanted to take it down to the last play of the game.
Oh, okay.
Well, so what? If there's 2 seconds left, you kick a squib kick, and it's not going to.
You're exactly right, W. Lynn. Bino, what's your read on that? I think W. Lynn's right.
I think there are a lot more coaches that choose to kick on third down now, Tony.
Yeah.
That gives them an extra opportunity if something goes wrong on the play. So I don't think that's the worst of ideas for sure.
Yeah, and really what you're doing is, and Throaty made a great point today in the blog, we thought our crowd noise was going to carry the day with the offensive line. Our offensive line throughout the day was the one that committed the false start penalties at home. And look, our offensive line's been fine for where they are and who they are, and they played well enough to win Saturday, but they're the ones that in the moment Saturday kind of blinked a little bit, which just is counterintuitive to what we thought would happen.
And my fourth point is, if there was a 16-team playoff this year, right now we would have 8 in. But since it's only 12 teams, Ole Miss, number 11, gets bumped by number 13, Iowa State, who leads the Big 12. Number 12, Oklahoma, gets bumped by number 30, Tulane, highest group of 5. So the first four out are Tennessee, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. So we better hope they go to a 16-team playoff because we're going to beat each other up and always have a lot of teams down in that range of the top 20.
Wow. Well, W. Lynn, thank you. When they go to that 16-team playoff and this league's as balanced as it is, I think the sport is already great. It is getting ready to be lights out incredible because all these kids want to play in this league. This league is the measuring stick. We can poo-poo and be old man and cry about the way it used to be. And let me tell you something. The way it is right now is pretty damn good. Now, Josh Heupel came on like 15 minutes late, which put me off my clock. Bear with me here. We'll get one more in here, and then we'll turn it over to the great Chase Thomas on the radio, and I'm going to kick it live with you on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Stay right there. Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill with a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high-character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle
is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery, so you're guaranteed to get a quality, pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
On the way out here, I want to end the show as we ended the show last today on the blog, and that's this. I am so proud of everybody involved. First of all, that was a Chamber of Commerce postcard, that game day thing, and the way our fans behaved and the whole deal. Second of all, the stadium on Saturday, though it must have been impossible to get into. I've had a couple of emails from people telling me horror stories. Y'all were insane. Totally came through, deserved to win. Thirdly, down at Calhoun's Friday, we had such a great time. We'll be there again this Friday. They are the Taste of Tennessee. It's incredible. And fourthly, my heart is just so full because this is so fun. Chase Thomas on the way next on Fan Run Radio. We stay here and kick it on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Hey, Bino, did you watch any of the game day show?
I did.
Our fans, when they were drowning out that Alabama coach with that war chant.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive.
One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, that was great. And they were so damn loud. And the way.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Back with you. Another edition, TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. I've got like a conflicted emotion thing because I'm kind of mad at Josh Heupel, but I can't be. But I can be. Apparently, this thing with UT was a real circus. Danny White and his coat of many colors. No, actually, Danny White's colors, his coat is green. You know, I was thinking, how could our magical AD, what would have been so bad, Bino, that he would have to come out on Twitter and on social media and apologize for it? And you're telling me, I mean, let me read this account to you, Bino, and you tell me if this lines up with you. You ready?
Ready.
I have never seen what I saw on Saturday, Tony. I heard you guys talking while trying to get into the stadium. My wife and I were leaving a friend's tailgate at Circle Park about 15 minutes after the band went down. So you're talking a good hour or so before kickoff. We attempted to walk down the Peyton Manning Pass, but were met with a complete standstill of people. No movement at all. Just a mass of people lined up the hill. Our goal was to get to gate 10 and go up the ramp. But we literally could not get anywhere near it. We called an audible, tried to go to another gate. The closest, quote, non-premium gate was gate 21. Another awful decision. We were met with a complete standstill of people, not moving at all. We literally could not get to another gate, so we were forced to stand in line for a good 45 minutes at gate 21, and this is an hour before the game. We left the tailgate an hour and a half before game time. We got in our seats, Tony, with about 20 minutes to spare. I'm going to read that again. We left our gate. We left at the tailgate an hour and a half before the game, and it took us 1 hour and 10 minutes to get in to our seats. Also, not sure if anybody's brought this up or not. As we were walking through the concourse, we were met with a wall of smoke. It appeared to be close to gate 13 or 14. I'm not sure if there was a fire in one of the concession stands, but the smoke was billowing out and all over the fans. People were coughing. People were choking. It was a very strange and very scary situation. Mike in Ottawa. Bino, from the sounds of things, we're pretty fortunate nobody got hurt over there. Yes?
Yeah, I think they're extremely fortunate that no one had any heat issues, Tony, with the mass of people that basically was immovable for long stretches trying to get into the game. The gates that I generally go to up on the hill, I believe it's 22 and 23. Those are probably a couple of the least used. 23 was always a student gate. 22 is probably one of the least used gates in the stadium. And I've only seen the Ole Miss game of several years ago when Lane Kiffin came back. We had some issue getting in the stadium. That's the only time that I can ever remember having a big issue getting in the stadium until yesterday. And this one was about twice as bad as the Ole Miss game was.
And did you encounter the billow of smoke, Bino, that
no
guy talked?
No.
I mean, a big, huge fire. Maybe that's what stopped people. Maybe they had a huge fire in the concourse. They ought to communicate that to people if that's what happened, right? Shouldn't they communicate that with people?
Yes, he was trying to get in the stadium quite a bit earlier than I was. But I didn't see any smoke. And if it was around gate 13, that's pretty far away from me.
I had people
10
tell
to
me.
13, so.
I had a couple people tell me they couldn't get in until after kickoff. Does that surprise you, Bino?
No, it does. It doesn't surprise me.
The game time for Mississippi State's been set. 4:15 on SEC Network, 3:15 Central. I think that's a big break for the Vols.
The Vols dodge a bullet.
Like that.
Other games that weekend, Arkansas, Notre Dame, 12 o'clock on ABC. Utah State, Vanderbilt, 12:45 on SEC Network. Auburn, Texas A&M, 3:30 on ESPN. LSU at Ole Miss, 3:30 ABC. Alabama, Georgia, 7:30 ABC. And Kentucky, South Carolina, 7:45 SEC Network.
That's what they did. They moved our game. And they gave Kentucky, South Carolina that slot. Any day of the week. That is a break. It's still going to be a tough game. It's not going to be as hard now. But I don't put it in the win column.
What network are we on, Brian?
Yeah.
We're on the SEC Network.
Okay.
So
also, Missouri, UMass, 7:30 on ESPNU.
So, Bino, they chose, after preliminarily slotting that game at night, they chose to put Vanderbilt and Kentucky in that time slot. That's kind of interesting, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, you say Kentucky, South Carolina, Brian?
Or what?
7:45. Kentucky, South Carolina, 7:45. SEC Network.
Does that?
I'm glad they did it, but it makes absolutely zero sense.
0 cents. Yep. Because basically they're hiding our game in that 4 o'clock window. Because what's the marquee game of the day, Bri? In the 4 o'clock window?
It's 3:30 Auburn A&M and LSU Ole Miss.
That's surprising. Very surprising.
I'm glad to not be playing at the same time slot Alabama and Georgia are playing too.
Exactly. I mean, we get.
I want to watch that game.
You get no arguments from me. Now, I don't have to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, even though the other day we did because we had a malfunction in our studio, and Laura was not going to go to sleep till she figured it out, which I respect the hell out of that. I'm like, why don't you just go to sleep? Why don't we just, And she says, well, I don't want people to hear this. I don't, it's not perfect. It's not what it's supposed to be. I respect that. I mean, I thought she was nuts. It's like, you need to get to sleep. This is not, because if she's not sleeping, I ain't sleeping. And I wasn't sleeping anyway, because I'm what do you call me, Bino? Like a neurotic? Or if you just drink a bunch of coffee, it just is what it is. Or am I a little bit of both?
I think you have some sleep issues, Tony, and I don't believe you're helping it drinking coffee at any 2 o'clock in the morning or whenever that was that you decided that was your choice.
I drank it like at 9 o'clock just to kind of stay awake and be mentally sharp. Let's get our next call. I don't think.
Of course, I should just shut my mouth. I can drink a Mountain Dew at 11:30 and be asleep on the hood of a car at 12.
Say, because I don't think, Bino, that I'll be honest with you. I don't think it helped me stay sharp Saturday. I think I sucked. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Hi, you're on TLD
Hello?
Legit. Yeah, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Hey, this is Austin. I'm from Morristown, originally from Georgia, but I'm not going to get into that.
Good talk to you,
wanted
Austin.
to call. I wanted to call to talk about the 5-star prospect, and so I did a little research on 24/7, and the last 5-star to win a Natty, Trevor Lawrence. Since then, Will Howard, Joe Burrow, Stetson Bennett, Mac Jones, all 4-star and even 3-star recruits on 24/7.
Would you please do me a favor and email that to me? Yes. And I'll feature that in the blog. I think Tennessee needs to rethink this whole chasing stars at quarterback after watching Hendon Hooker and this kid. And I am not trying to be funny here. Austin, I think they found something. I think the coaches that go out in the offseason and find veteran quarterbacks that function in their deal, you're not throwing bad money at bad. You're actually spending your money wisely, Austin.
And the money's unknown if you're getting a kid out of high school. And let's say you pay $1 million for Agalar. Well, now you've got $1 million or more to spend on a receiver or multiple players or anything like that. I mean, it just seems to make sense.
Listen, Oregon's been doing it for years, and they're at the tippy top of the deal. They go out and get a guy, and they had a kid. They lost a kid this year that went to Cal, and I understand. I'm telling you, this freshman at Cal, you've got to see him if you haven't seen him. Bino, have you put eyes on him late? Yeah.
No, I've got to watch him, Tony.
He is one hell of a player. Now, he's a 5-star guy, but he has transferred from Oregon after winter workouts. I don't know. He didn't like it there, or the Moore kid was just going to play and be entrenched. So he went to Cal where he could play. I understand Florida State is basically already in bed with this kid. Like, do not contact. Now, let's see if it plays out that way, but Florida State's kind of figured this thing out. We're going to go with known quantities of quarterback. It's really interesting, Austin. So you're telling me the last 5-star guy to win it all.
To win
it all was Trevor Lawrence, and when was that?
I believe that was 2018. This was just quick searching through 24/7.
It's amazing.
I mean, Joe Burrow transferred, right?
Yes.
I think, and Mac Jones, was he at Bama and went through the system there for a couple of years?
He did, yes.
Yeah, and so that's part of it, too. These kids are staying because they're not big prospects to go to another school and get $1 million+. So you've been in the system for a few years, and you come out and you play well, and, yeah, so if Stetson Bennett, I mean, kind of similar to that.
Absolutely. Georgia does their best work. Hey, that kid Saturday, Bino, that played, there's nothing wrong with that kid. That Georgia quarterback, he's a hell of a player. I'd take him all day long, Bino.
Absolutely. I thought he was really solid. Hey, Austin, out of ignorance, I'm asking this because I just don't keep up with recruiting like I should. Is it still a thing that if you sign a big-time quarterback, that it kind of enhances the rest of your recruiting class? Or in this NIL period, is that not a factor anymore?
I think it's supposed to. It would make sense logically, but I'm not sure how much it really does, like you said. That might be one of those things that people think, but in reality, they're either going to chase the money or they're going to go somewhere they can play. So, I don't know. I mean, you would think, a big receiver would want to go to a quarterback, but I don't know. Would you rather go to Tennessee or go play for another top QB in Michigan or whatever? I mean, don't you think you'd rather go to Tennessee's offense?
And what's interesting
yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is Tennessee did get the Keys kid. Is it tied to the kid from Charlotte, or is it tied to the fact that he's an Adidas client and they paid him some extra money. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, it's all changed from that. And the way that the kids can transfer now, too, I mean, it's just going to keep happening. And where I think the big players, if they sit for a year or they get recruited over, they're just going to leave. So now, if you have somebody that's been in the system a couple of years, played a lot of games, probably played a lot of games in high school, they're maybe not as concerned about going to the NFL, if that makes sense. So they really care about what they're doing. That has to matter.
I was talking to John Adams about that very thing yesterday. Look, Cade Klubnik on Saturday was saving himself for the prom. He has had the NFL people whispering in his ear. And then on the other side of the football, Haynes King was playing that football game and in the moment. Now, I'm not saying that Cade Klubnik didn't play hard, but I would much rather have a guy. I'm sorry. I would much rather have a guy who that's his Super Bowl. It kind of goes back to what Bino has always said about when Tennessee hires a coach. Is this the most important job to him he's ever had?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Haynes King was laying it on the line in that game.
Yep.
It's a different deal.
Yep.
The pro prospect guy, none of us blame him. Those guys make silly money. The backup quarterbacks in that league make silly ass money, right?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, $10 million this year to get replaced by Jackson Dart.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and if you think about, like, to that point, I mean, Gunnar Stockton stayed in there and took that huge hit, knowing he was going to get popped. Does somebody else throw that ball away? I mean, I don't know, but
it's a great question because he sure did.
Gunnar Stockton got hammered a couple times, guys. Hammered and stayed in there. Hey, Bino, I promise you this. Gunnar Stockton's not going to run out of bounds on fourth down.
No.
No.
in a game of inches, those things matter. So, I mean, I think you're spot on earlier with your point.
It's really what's really interesting with the Heupel thing is because I think the world of the guy. I think he's very good. Obviously, that stuff in that first quarter was as brilliant as anything you'll ever see. They had Georgia. They were moving them all around. It looked like Georgia had electric football defense. I mean, it was unbelievable. But his ability to identify a quarterback here that can play in this league here, I mean, he's batting a 0 right now. This Joey Agalar guy is like a miracle. This is a miracle. But you also have to give him, I'm talking about Heupel and that brain trust, a ton of credit for getting this kid up to speed. Because that's exactly what they've done. It must not be that difficult, right, Bino? If you can do it in 90 days or 100 days or whatever it was. I mean, it must not be. I mean, they were making this look easy. They turned Georgia inside out, didn't they?
Well, they did, and they ran. I mean, you can call it broken coverage, but the players caused that to happen. The scheme caused that to happen.
The scheme?
I mean, those players aren't chumps.
Well, listen, that was an all-American safety, like an elite NFL football. That's how this kid's seen, who bit on that post in the third touchdown, the ball in the back of the end zone to Brazel. That kid was nowhere in the picture because he was schemed out of the picture with the eye candy. He went for the eye candy, which, hey, I mean, I cannot believe we lost that game. I mean, I think back on that. I think back on that first quarter. I just can't believe we lost that game. That's crazy we lost that game. But thank you for the call. Please email me. Please email me, okay?
I will. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's commonfan@gmail.com.
The Brett McMurphy has some bowl projections out. He's got Tennessee and Nebraska in the ReliaQuest Bowl, which is in Tampa on New Year. I guess that's the one that was the Outback. And he's got Alabama, Indiana in the Music City Bowl, Auburn, Louisville in the Tax Slayer Bowl, and Michigan, Texas in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Brian, I'm so glad you did that today rather than tomorrow with Matt in here. You just saved yourself an on-air ass chewing. I'm pretty sure of that.
Please do it with Matt tomorrow. Please. Break in the third hour and act like this didn't happen. I will tell you this. Let me ask you this, Bino, and then we go back to the phones. Let's say the Vols end up in that game, in the Outback Bowl, take the kids. Disappointing year, Bino, or no?
Well, Tony, it's funny what this game Saturday did to me. It left a scar that I'm not sure is going to go away, but it also gave me a lot more hope about what we're capable of this season. And I don't know if either one of those is the correct reaction.
Bino, that's why I call myself conflicted over what I saw Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel. I mean, in one sense, it pisses you off. And in another sense, it's like, I appreciate the hell out of coming that close. And Heupel said today there are no moral victories, which is true. Because these guys are capable of going 9-3 by the end of the year. They are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. People don't want to hear that. And I'm not here to pander to anybody. Why would you? I'm not going to lie to you. They're very capable of going 9-3 from here.
I'm not sure the way this league lines up that most everybody isn't capable of losing about 3 football games.
Well,
if
you'll notice, he had Texas playing Michigan, right, Bryce? So he has Texas out of the playoff.
Yeah, in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Hey, Bino, Texas has the highest payroll in the country.
Well, I'll say this. If we wind up in the Outback Bowl and Texas winds up in the Cheez-It Bowl, those Longhorn fans are going to be a hell of a lot more disappointed than I'm going to be.
You're damn straight. And they're going to have a big decision to make, because if Arch Manning doesn't get it together, Bino, do they recruit over him and tell him to go find another place to play? Does Texas do that?
I think they probably will, Tony.
Mm-hmm. The things that we thought about this season, and that's why I love this year, because it is completely upside down. And I think it's a good sport for that. I think all this transfer portal shit has made the sport better. If it's not for the transfer portal and Big Nick, who's really Little Nick down there, if it's not for him, I'm not sure we have the hope we have in this season. What a weird thing to say into a microphone. I'm not sure Arch Manning can play. What a weird thing to say into a microphone. The kid at Florida, Bino, who saved their season last year, is literally an unwatchable, silly football player right now. Did you think we'd be saying that, Bino, into a microphone this year?
No.
Joey Agalar is a top 3 quarterback in this league right now. Where was that on your checklist? You tell me. Was that on your checklist?
It was not.
Bino, if because we're going to do this in the blog later in the week, I want you to think about this. I'm going to ask you later in the hour. That Arch Manning guy right now, where do we put him when you start looking at the quarterbacks in the league and how they've played? And the guy at Florida. The guy at Florida we thought was a damn... I thought he was a damn world beater. Brian said it. Hey, here's the little hidden thing about the Florida Gators. They're incredibly good defensively. That's why I don't sleep on us going down there and beating we're going to win that. First of all, we never win down there. And secondly, and I'm not getting negative on you here, I'm just telling the truth, they're damn good defensively. They had LSU. If that kid would have just managed the game and run the ball, it would have been 10-10. Bino, how bad was that kid Saturday night for people that weren't paying attention to it or were stuck in traffic or whatever? How bad was he? Describe that to people.
Well, he was bad enough that his regression is the last nail in Sunbelt Billy's coffin. It was terrible.
I'll tell you what he looks like is that Anthony Richardson when he tried to play in Indianapolis. He don't even look like a quarterback playing out back there. It's totally bizarre. The season is completely upside down from where it was supposed to be. And we should have won that game Saturday for that reason. We should have been coming out of September with Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and who's the other one having a loss? There's one more. Tennessee should have finished it.
LSU?
LSU hadn't lost yet, but Tennessee should have finished that. They really should have. And if you heard Heupel today, he knows that. They should have finished it. They did more than enough to win that football game Saturday.
Well, he learned from what he did and try to go for the jugular if he's in that situation again that he was in the fourth quarter Saturday.
100%. I have the utmost faith that he will never do that again. 100%, Brian. I have the utmost faith when he gets in that spot, they go for the kill shot.
I understand if you're backed up inside the red zone and you want to, I sort of understand it more. But, I mean, when you're on their 30 or whatever they were, I just don't see why you wouldn't try to take a shot.
Not with a quarterback that's totally on fire, like he's just got a magic wand. Because Colombo said everything he threw up just turned to gold, keep throwing it up. And I don't care what look you get. I don't give you a two safety look. I'm throwing the ball. Put it in the back of the end zone there where either you catch it or it's out of bounds. And you say to the team on the other side, damn it, we came to play today. But let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Hey, welcome in. So, Kai, welcome in, man.
Yo, what's up, man? It was a rough one. I actually got the hookup, and I was at the game on Saturday. And that's probably the closest I'd ever sat in that stadium. I was pretty much in the student section. And we were right behind the goalpost as it went, well, to our left, but on TV to the right. And it almost hit us. And so, like I said, when being in that stadium for that type of game, that's the first time I've ever been in the stadium for like a big, humongous, packed game. And when we got the strip sack, that was probably one of the most euphoric moments of my life because I ain't never heard anything that loud. And then for Heupel, I just, for the life of me, can't understand what their play calling was on that drive. I don't know. I can't believe that they just was conservative like that.
It's just not who he is. It's just not who the guy's been since he's been here.
I don't know what he was at. Like, I don't either. What was his motive?
I don't either. I don't either.
You've been playing aggressive the whole game.
I
guess you didn't go for it because you've seen it cause success. I just literally don't. I mean,
the other thing you know, I'm not going to rip because I really hate ripping the guy. But the other thing that you know, and obviously we're armchair quarterback in this thing. Bino, your defense has been on the field for so much of that game. Georgia ran the ball at you in the third quarter. You just got a strip sack fumble. You've got to get a 2-score lead there. 8 points is not enough there. I mean, you have to know that. That field goal that you settle for there is your last resort, Sakai. You got to score a touchdown in that drive.
I mean, that's what everybody was saying. Like, once we got the strip sack, everybody in the crowd, everybody around me was like, this the kill right here. We seen the safeties.
Really
we seen
strange.
That they had one over, but you got to go to Brazil back at just one time. If it doesn't work out, we still got 2-3 more plays. Just throw it up once because you already got the momentum. Just throw it up one time and see what happens because that's what happened the whole game. We threw it up to him and he was coming. He was coming through.
I mean, look, I didn't like punting the ball in the second quarter when you're at midfield. That's just not who we are. That is not who we are. You do not Kirby Smart called a timeout because they were about to get burned, and if we'd have snapped the ball, we were going to get a first down. Bino, would you have taken your offense off the field there? Because in the NFL now, you're going for that.
In the moment in the stadium, I wanted us to punt, Tony. I don't know if that's if that would be the right decision or not.
Fair enough.
But that was my immediate thought, that I wanted us to punt. And to Zakai's point, going back to the possession right after, I don't care if you don't throw it in the end zone, but don't run the football 3 times there.
Right.
If they've taken away that throwing it in the end zone, then throw the intermediate pass like you've been throwing.
Play for a touchdown. He's right. Which is really just really, really strange, Zakai. And let me ask you this, man, because we've taken you from a boy to a man. How old are you now?
I'm 20 now.
20.
I started calling at 15.
And you're in the military, right?
Yeah.
God bless you. And describe to me, because you've been to some easier pushover type games. Describe to me the environment in that place through your eyes when we start out and put 21 on the board in that first quarter. What was it like being around those kids, and what was that whole experience like for you?
Well, like I said, the only other game I had been to was the 2015 Florida game when we lost that one. I was in Florida. And so that was a pretty big game. But this game here, it was, like I said, it was just a euphoric feeling, just us going up and down the field like that, and Agalar connected on deep shot, because that's where I really wanted to see. I was like, I want to see what it's going to be like if we connect on a deep shot. And as soon as Brazil caught that touchdown, it was almost felt like it was shaking. Like I said, the moment I'll never forget is that when we got the strip sack, that's probably the like I said, I don't know what Bino's going to say, his favorite moment, but that was probably the loudest it had got that whole day was when we got the strip sack.
Hey, Bino, we were talking at Calhoun's on the River that there's nothing like a deep ball when it opens up. And you're in the stadium and everybody kind of rises, and you just sort of that sense of anticipation. Is it going to get caught? Is it not going to be caught? Just that whole sense of anticipation. That's just a very communal, powerful thing during a football game. Bino, we forgot about the strip sack. The strip sack is you talk about lighting a crowd on fire. Zakai's got a great point there, Bino. That's one we forgot Friday. Something happened to Bino there, Zakai.
Those are
yeah.
When you get something like that,
yep,
those are unexpected. You don't expect it to happen. It's like a pick six sort of.
Yes.
And it certainly sends the crowd into where you're not expecting that, but then it happens. Something good like that happens, and then the crowd just goes bonkers.
It's like it shocks your senses almost. Am I seeing what I'm seeing here? And the ball's on the ground, and then Zakai. The strip sack is really – a sack is a great play. You hear the crowd go –
That's the kind of play that they weren't getting in that series at all.
And you hear the crowd on a sack. The crowd goes, woo, when a guy goes to the ground. When the ball comes loose and you get the ball, Bean Star, that's like total bedlam, like Zakai's describing.
No, he's correct, Tony, and we overlooked that a little bit. No, there's nothing that turns a crowd on like a timely takeaway in a big situation. Nothing. And Zakai, really, it doesn't matter if you've only seen that atmosphere once. I don't care if you've been like me and you've been at most every home game since 1975 or so, 76. There are only a few of those type days in all those years that I've been going. And, Saturday was one of those special handful of days that you see in your lifetime at Neland.
Yeah, like I said, it was one of the best days I've been to. And like I said, the only time I compare it to, like I said, even though I hate them with a passion. But like I said, when Florida beat us in that 2015 game, I think it was Will Greer. He may have been a quarterback.
Those
and
two
they hit
great
a comeback.
throws. Yeah, those two crazy throws at the end. I bet that was crazy down there.
Yeah, it was not for us, but it was like, but like I said, nothing compares to that Neland when it was rocking. But for your guys' opinion, I got to ask, who was this? Like I said, to me, the Oklahoma and the Georgia one, it's kind of neck and neck. I don't know which one's worse, though. That's why I wanted to ask y'all.
That's a great question through your 20-year-old mind, because Maggie Nathan called in and said, when's the last time? She said this Oklahoma game was the last time I felt like this. Because here's the thing, and, I thought about this. Give me your thoughts, guys. And Zakai, I want yours too. The surprise element to that Oklahoma game that night, that was a year before Tennessee was supposed to be on the come. That was a young team that was not supposed to be in that spot. And that's why Butch Jones and his girdle and his lifts showed you who he was when he kicked a field goal from the 1 foot line, because he's an absolute punk and an absolute clown. But Bino, this was not supposed to happen. We were left for dead by the intelligentsia of college football. They were not supposed to be in that spot Saturday, and they started with a 14-point lead. And damn it, they got a turnover on their 30, and they could have taken a 2-score lead, and it was going to be one of the greatest wins we've ever seen in our lives. And it was that close to happening, and that's why it feels like the Oklahoma game, Bino, because it was, in both cases, it was 2 wins that weren't supposed to happen, but we know, we're knowledgeable as a fan base, we know what those 2 wins would have meant. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know what to compare it to. I think it's one of the more painful losses that I've ever seen over there. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the stadium. It's for Oklahoma. It's one of the few big games that I've missed.
That's right.
The only thing that I could compare it to, there have been a couple, but this was more like the Alabama game in '90 to me, where we lined up to kick a field goal to win the game, and they block it, and it rolls far enough down the field that they kick a field goal and win it. This was, this one, that's the one that I compare it to.
Zakai, excellent phone call from you. Where are you stationed these days, man?
I'm still in Texas, near San Antonio. So.
Wow. God bless you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Great talking to you. Great hearing your voice, man. Don't be a stranger.
Yes, sir. We're going to keep calling.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for your service.
One way to compare those two is the Oklahoma game probably cemented earlier that they weren't going to make the playoffs because you only had a 4-team playoff then. But you can lose games like Saturday now and still be right in the middle of it.
Yeah, oh yeah. But the fact of the matter is that we're a knowledgeable bunch. And when you do the
things... Still should have won it.
Yeah, when you do the things Tennessee did in that game, you should have won. Now, back then, Bino, we were never really comfortable with the concept of Butch Jones because he was kind of a dumbass. But that's when Butch Jones lost the crowd that night, Bino. Never got the crowd back. I do think...
I don't know if it's fair or not, but I think the huge difference in those two is whereas in that game, I totally lost confidence that Butch Jones was the guy.
Yep.
In this game, I'm not sure. I'm not more convinced that Josh Heupel is the right guy.
Yeah, and time will bear that out. Because if his tenure doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to turn out or the way it could turn out, we're going to look back at that game and say, man, it would have been different if they'd have won that game. But go ahead, Brian.
The Oklahoma game the Florida game 2 weeks later kind of gave him a chance to redeem himself, and the same exact thing happened. He came from ahead in that game, and you had 2 of those type of losses within within 2 weeks of each other, which is even more egregious.
To the phones we go, yeah, he was a real dipshit. No offense to him.
He learned nothing from what happened against Oklahoma.
No. In fact, the next year, Brian, is when they got the ball on the goal line with A&M in overtime, and it was the extra point attempt, and A&M jumps, puts the ball on the 1 yard line. You got to put your offense out there and get the score and win the game, man. If Josh Heupel gets in that spot again, he's going to win the game. Or they're going to at least try. Hello and welcome in. I believe that. You're on the air. You're on TLD Logistics. Overdrive Overtime.
Tennessee was gutted Saturday afternoon. That was a gut-wrenching loss. No two ways about it. we found a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And I tell you what, it stings like no loss at Neland that I can recall in a few decades. Oklahoma was fool's gold. I don't know why we're comparing Oklahoma. We weren't supposed to be there. We had fool's gold. Tennessee got off to a lead and got beat. This was the last time we're going to play Georgia in a home and away series for the rest of, certainly the near future. And Tennessee had an opportunity to end the streak and win the last game in the series, and found a way to cough it up. It's just it's sickening, Tony. There's no way other way to describe it. Sickening, gut wrenching.
I totally agree, but I don't think all is lost. I don't think all hope is lost. You can take some good things out of this game and still feel sick at the same time, and I think that's what a lot of fans have done.
Yeah, I agree. The season's certainly not lost, but the ceiling that we had, think about what we'd be talking about today, what the national media would be saying about the University of Tennessee and the story that is Joey Swaggular, a.k.a. Joey Football. Tennessee would be the talk of the national media. ESPN would be spending 10 minutes post-game showing the students and the fans storming the field, showing the goalposts go down. It would have been epic. It would have been utter mayhem. And it's so Tennessee that it didn't happen.
It had been like that Bama game 3 years ago. It's what it would have been. It felt like.
I just don't want to torture myself any further, Taylor. I don't want to think about what it would have been.
Well, but Bino, don't you agree that that's factual, what I just said?
No, it's absolutely factual. I'm just not going to spend any of my time crying over something that did not happen, thinking about how good it would have been if it had.
Well, it's therapeutic, so I'm gonna go there. Here's another thing: Neland Stadium was not at its peak. It was loud, but if we're going to be honest, it wasn't Neland at night, not loud. And my point is, I know that this is a big if this would have been a night game, Tennessee wins that game. The heat, the sun, the poor play. Tennessee lost the middle 25. Forget the 8. Tennessee offense went into a cocoon in the middle 25. But the first quarter, late third quarter, and fourth quarter, they played outstanding. But my point is, there were 2 illegal procedure calls, if my memory's correct, in the entire game. One of those was after a massive turnover, the strip sack fumble that killed all momentum. The other one was on the next to last offensive play of the game, when Tennessee was simply trying to get it from the left hash to the middle of the field, and the Alpharetta, Georgia lineman jumped, which I have no idea why you're jumping when you know the play call is the quarterback is simply going to move the ball from the left hash to the center of the field to allow a better angle for the kick. Georgia had 0 illegal procedure penalties. The crowd wasn't as deafening as it would have been if it was a night game. The sun zapped the crowd. That's my excuse. But also, Kirby, I hate to say he's the best damn coach in college football. Whenever there was a third down and the crowd was going to impact, 9 times out of 10, he centered the football very quickly to diminish the crowd noise. And last but not least, I'm going to get the last.
Hey, Kirby Smart is a damn good football coach. That's what he is.
No, he's the best.
Yeah, he was.
He negated the crowd
they had
noise.
Zero
with quick
business
snaps
winning.
On third down.
They had 0 business winning that game the other day. 0, like 0 business.
Yeah, last thing, since I've been negative, but I just want to get this out. September 4th, Danny White's lieutenants, his chief strategy officer and his chief marketing officer hosted the media at Neland Stadium basically to showcase the improvements, and they focused on how much better the ingress and egress will be because Gate 9 is 3 times wider, blah, blah, blah. Tony, I've been going there for decades. That was a travesty getting into the stadium. and I heard getting out. I stayed about 30 minutes after the game was over, so I didn't have issues getting out. But here's what it comes down to. It, and they said they studied they studied Super Bowls in the largest stadiums in the country to improve their ingress and egress. Well, I'll tell you what, they shouldn't have spent $1 because, my goodness, it's pretty darn simple, Tony. If you're going to eliminate general admission gates and make the gates that are most easy for the masses to enter reserved for premium access only, then you're going to put up fences and barricades, phoning the crowd into chokeholds. Tony, I'm not exaggerating. They're lucky somebody did not get trampled to death entering or trying to exit Neland Stadium Saturday. It was an absolute atrocity. It was literally dangerous for those fans. And I saw some things that I hope I never, ever see at a sporting event. If they don't get it fixed, Tony, people will stop going. Denny White needs to do better. That was a travesty. And to spend September 4th bragging about all that they have done and then to put up that crap on Saturday.
He'll pat himself on the back now.
Well, his change will probably be, guess what? I'll open more premium gates. If you pay $30, even though you're not in a premium seating, you can come through the premium gate. That'll be his solution. Tony, I'm out.
Boy, I tell you, that would have been, again, if you got people bottlenecked the way you people are saying they're bottlenecked, you just let everybody in. At that point, you just quit scanning tickets. If it's how you're describing it, Bino, and how he's describing it, and other people are describing it, at that point, you just quit scanning tickets. I'm just going to let you in.
Here's a text from a buddy of mine, Tony.
All right.
Been going 60 years. Worst crowd situation I've ever seen. People were kicking down temporary fences, and a stampede was close. They're very lucky.
What is this athletic director doing, man?
That sounds like
besides building buildings,
in a soccer game in a South America.
Well, Brian, it's called a mob mentality for a reason, and it's extremely dangerous, man. Now, I need to do some fact-finding on, and maybe somebody knows this, you want to help me out. Have they limited the number of gates, Bino, because now they've got these premium gates? Are there gates that people used to be able to go through now? Or are there just more premium gates, and they're not inhibiting the plebeians from going? Tell me about it.
I don't know, Tony. That was the implied message in Taylor's call. My part of the stadium, I've always been pretty much separated from that. So I don't know. I do know that in walking across the bridge that I walk over to go up to the north side of Neland Stadium, I look down at gate 21, and I've never seen a mass of people like that at that gate.
To the phones we go. It's interesting stuff. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, Bino, Brian, Josh Boy.
Wings.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, after I left Bino's friend's tailgate, me and Nardi were able to get in with no problem Saturday.
Oh, fortunately, man. That's great. Good for you.
Yeah. We like Bino, we go through gate 22 because that's cluster section.
Well, we need to hear good things. That's a good thing, Josh. I'm glad you didn't have a problem.
But this AD needs to get shit fixed though. And stop worrying about money in his pocket. You know?
He's got some people that are irate. I know that.
Yeah. So, Tony, your takeaway after the game, I didn't listen to the whole post-game show until I called in Saturday. So, what do you blame this loss on Saturday? Like,
it's a head coach.
I told you, we just couldn't finish the job.
Yeah, I blame a head.
People got conservative, and
I blame a head
You got to
coach.
put Georgia out. Their chance.
Yeah, I blame the head coach, but I do it tepidly because he put him in a spot. He coached such a their stuff in that first quarter was wonderful, which is the reason they're in that spot.
Yes.
They've done an incredible job with this quarterback, putting him in a scheme that's bringing out the best in him. But man, he was not good late in that game. He just wasn't.
No. And I get what Bino was saying after we forced that strip fumble. I just don't get running the ball 3 times. I know Georgia was taking away the deep threat, but like Bino said it well, you got to have intermediate throws. You could at least done a couple.
Yeah, you got to try and score. You know, because if you don't try and score there, what are we doing?
Right. And another question I wanted to ask you guys, I know we have a lot of injuries on defense, but does this defense right now give you guys any red flags right now?
Well, obviously, they need to get guys healthy. Yeah. I mean, if they don't get people back by that Mississippi State game, Bino, that'll be a nail biter. Mississippi State will score a bunch of points on us.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think it's quickly fixable because of the time we're going to have to wait to get people back on the field, and we probably are not going to get Ricky Gibson back out there unless it's very late. Yeah, we're going to have to find the answers within the personnel that we have, and I think we are growing up a little bit, Joshy.
Yeah.
So we should be better as the season goes along, but we need to get our interior defensive lineman back for sure. Give us a little bit more depth there.
Did they say? Did Heupel say anything, Tony, on how long Hops would be out in Jackson Moy?
No, they never do.
Yeah. Guys, we're very, very fortunate that Mississippi State game is going to be a day game.
Oh, what a great break. I'm with Bino. I don't understand what the league's thinking, but thank goodness they're thinking it.
Yeah. So, guys, I said before the season 9-3 I would be happy with 9-3. It'd be a really good season, and I'm still at that point. But from what I saw Saturday against Georgia, this team 10-2 is still very much on the table.
There is no doubt that's true. Little doubt that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah. But, guys, out the door, I just want to move on from this loss. It's a new week, new team, and go Big Orange.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. That's why tomorrow we're going to start focusing on UAB and how we're going to smoke them. But 9-3, here's the thing. You won't go 10-2 from here. I mean, you just put it in, you either got to win at Alabama. Last time we won at Alabama, Bri, was?
2003.
Okay. Or at Florida, Bri. Last time we won at Florida was?
Same year, 2003.
That shouldn't be that hard, should it be now?
No, just go out there and break 2 22-year streaks in one time.
Just
do it.
Just roll the ball out there.
It's not going to be easy, Tony.
No.
Not going to be easy by any stretch.
And then between that and that, you got this kid at Arkansas. They play zero defense, okay? That game's going to be like in the 90s. I'll tell you what. The over this week, UAB plays zero defense, but they've got a pretty good quarterback. I think 63 is the total. Is that right, guys? I think these two teams are going to assault the total this week. But don't take my word for it. I'm cold stone Steve Austin right now. My friends at VIP Play want to remind you, you make a bet. Your first bet, $5 or more, $100 in bonus bets instantly goes into your account. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. Remember also, 200 leagues, live always. There's a doubleheader tonight, Monday Night Football. Rare NFL doubleheader tonight. You got all kinds of props and options and SGPs involved tonight. So, also, if you have a bet in mind and you can't find it at the book you use, because VIP wants to earn your business, VIP Play will create it for you if it's a compliant bet in the state of Tennessee. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in our great state of Tennessee to place a bet. Bino, what do you think about the NFL doubleheader tonight?
I think I'll see one game as I usually do, Tony, and be in bed before the second.
Not going to watch the Raiders and Chargers, the 10 o'clock kickoff?
Probably watch. I'll probably watch the first half of that one, and then I will be in bed. I don't think anything has lost its luster for me in the sports world more than Monday Night Football.
I agree with that.
I think it's because there's so many games now. There's Thursday games and there's UC games every night of the week.
I agree.
Whereas back then, you only had games Sunday and they were 1 and 4. You didn't have a Sunday night game. You just had a bunch of games at 1 and a bunch of games at 4.
You only got to see 3 of those. That was all you got to see. And 2 of them were on at the same time.
I find myself, hard to say this, but I love college football so much that I find myself almost worn out by the time Monday rolls around, Bino.
I'm worn out by Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love college football. I watch the NFL. I watch the NFL when the Eagles are playing, and I like, watching the Red Zone's a great watch. And by the way, they are doing the thing on the Red Zone where they're just keeping the action going and putting ads up on the like they do in soccer, which is really smart. I thought they were going to take commercial breaks, but they're not. And that is a great product. College football really ought to go to a Red Zone. They ought to figure out a way to marry these networks and share in the revenue, because that is a great way to consume the NFL. Bino, are you a Red Zone guy?
Absolutely. Especially since I lost the Sunday ticket, I watched the Red Zone exclusively.
Bino,
I don't watch a broadcast game now.
I've got, Bino, a link I can send you that I sent Joshy Boy that has like 150 Chinese streams on it. So you can watch the Colts. But the problem is you'll get more malware.
Yeah, I'd rather you not, Tony. My tablet's probably real sick anyway.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony B. This is Steve from Hickson. How you guys doing?
Hey, Stephen Hickson. Welcome in, my man.
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
I'm kind of steered away from the game because my son and I went, and I'm an old guy, I'm 58, and he's 23, and he was crushed. But he almost, when that strip sack came, I thought he was going to tear my arm off. He almost killed me. And but before the game, we got there really early to go to college game day, and we're walking down Voltaire Boulevard there, and this big, tall, skinny black fellow passed us up, and my son said, "That's Nate Ament, Dad." I said, "Think so?" I said, "Go back there and get him." So he went back there. He said, "Are you Nate Ament?" He said, "I sure am." And just a nice kid, man, 6'9", and just a gentleman, And what was so funny, we saw him twice more that night before we went home, and also got to meet Steve Hamer, which is pretty cool. But I just want to, the moment with the field goal, I'm kind of reiterating what everybody else has said about the coaching. I thought he should have went for it. I mean, on third down, he should have run another play because, if you kick that football with 3 seconds to go in the game, miss it or make it, you leave Georgia 0 time. When you kick the field goal, he still left Georgia 2 seconds. And I'm not saying Georgia, anything can happen in 2 seconds on a kickoff, right? You see people lateral back and forth. But I'm like you guys. Like I said, I'm not down on Heupel, but I think he made a couple of coaching gaffes there. And then also, I'm jumping around here. I apologize, but what Bino said about gate 21, we were in gate 21 an hour before kickoff. We stood there still for almost 20 minutes before we could get in, and we were stopped, and all of a sudden just kind of a flow went in, and I don't know what's going on, but anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on Saturday.
Wow, really? And
yeah.
Your thoughts are interesting. You know what I love about kids, our kids' age, is they magically think, right? And you and I, Steve, we've been through so much that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Is that right? Yep.
It's really something, isn't it? I mean, it's really true.
Yeah, it is.
It's really true. Because I remember being a kid. I remember being a kid in that 90 Alabama game Bino was talking about. We're lined up to kick that field goal, and I'm going, we're beating these bastards today. Today. These days, you don't do that now. Now you're like,
no.
I don't believe it till I see it.
No. Like I said, and just back to the field goal, we sat in ZZ12. We sat all the way at the top. Good seats, but a little scary. You feel like you're just, touching the face of God sitting up there. But I can still see that field goal, see the goalpost, and right before they kicked it, it's like that moment was frozen in time. I thought, this is going to go really good for us one way or really bad the other way, and it went bad the other way. I don't know. I felt like Heupel kind of iced his kicker a little bit, inadvertently, but it is what it is. It's water under the bridge now, but it's still it's painful to think about, so I try not to think about it, but you kind of, it's like I don't know, you almost like lick your own wound sometimes. It's hard to forget about, Tony. You know what I'm saying?
No. These are the ones, and I appreciate your call, Stephen Hickson, and great hearing from you. Please call us again. These are the games that leave a mark. I call them Vol scars, but every fan base has them. The losses hurt a lot more than the wins feel good, which is another weird thing about sports. Like to the old heads, they sit around and think about when Syracuse eliminated the Vols in basketball back then with the Ernie and Bernie show and what could have and should have been. I still think about the Phillies have won a couple world championships since then. I still think about Black Friday 1977 against the LA Dodgers when Vic Davalillo, a Brooklyn Dodger who was at 1,000,000 years old, laid down a drag bunt and got a base hit, and then Manny Mota, another L.A. Dodger, like 1,001 years old at the time, if he would have been pulled over by a cop, he would have pulled a rock out that had his name etched on it, hit a ball off the fence. And we did not, and I can still tell you, we had Greg Lazinski in left field, and Jerry Martin should have been substituted for him. And that's the truth about when you lose, and very seldom do you get in baseball games that are that important that you can recall 50 years later things about them. But that's what happened Saturday in Neland Stadium. That was a generational opportunity to get a win. I mean, it just was. And to pretend otherwise, I mean, and Bino, it's really why we love that sport so much. Because really, you got a 12-game schedule, but out of the 12 games, how many games can replicate that? I mean, that's the question. How many games, Bino, you think can replicate that out of the 12? Just the meaning of that moment.
None.
None.
As far as having it in your stadium with that opportunity.
Yeah,
none.
This year, none. I mean, you have Oklahoma again. That's going to be a signature game. But man,
it's a game that comes along maybe once every 3 years or so, because the Alabama game was 3 years ago.
And Brian, those turds from Athens have beaten us every which way but loose. And finally, you get to get that team in front of you, and you got them beat. All you got to do is win the game. And look, I disagree with what Heupel did, but some people made a great point the other night on the air to me on Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, which is, hey, Tony, you say the guy mismanaged it, but they still had the winning kick on the kid's foot. Yeah, it's true. It is true.
It would never come down to that if they go up 2 touchdowns.
Hey, Bino.
And we're assuming they go up 2 touchdowns, guys. That's also an assumption that they go up 2 touchdowns. Well, you just don't automatically score because you're more because you take a different approach.
At least you try, and then again, you can't assume that Georgia could have scored, and Georgia could have got an onside kick. You never know. Stuff like that happens too.
They should have tried, but it's an assumption that we score a touchdown there. But still, that's what they should have made the attempt to do. The other thought process is right too. We were still in position to win the game after that, because they had a pretty good, well thought out drive to get down there to get that opportunity.
The other thing that's really kind of painful about it, and again, I'm back to this. You watch that quarterback drop back to throw on that 4th and 6, and they didn't go for the sticks. They went for the end zone, and it's one of the best throws and catches that's ever happened in Neland Stadium execute that play. Out of 100 chances, Bino, if they throw that ball right there, how many times is that kid gonna throw the ball like that, and that kid gonna catch a ball like that?
I don't know, but they couldn't have possibly done it any better.
No,
they couldn't have replicated it.
No, it literally looked like something out of off a video game or something. Like, oh, that's just not real. I mean, this guy is looking back over his shoulder, sliding, knowing that the boundary's right there. And this guy throws the damn ball right on the money. And Pro Football Hocus Focus and these shows I appeared on with these people that had adhered to all that bullshit told me that the kid didn't throw any touchdown passes this year. And I said, and you really believe that? Oh, their passing game, I mean, Bino, imagine believing that. Imagine being so fixed into the numbers that you actually believe Georgia played 2 real football games, Bino. Do you think those people learned their lesson? These pro football hocus pocus focus adherents?
No, Tony, they're not going to learn.
I mean, they're so smart. You're just so smart. You just know the game.
Because there's no human element in their mind.
It's idiotic. How about this? That was their first real game for the Georgia Bulldogs. How about that? Which, by the way, and it was our first real game. Because we did things in that game we did not do with Syracuse. That offense in that first quarter. Whew. And yeah, like Taylor said, it kind of got away from Tennessee in the middle of the game. And maybe Martin Columbus is right. You know, maybe a couple of those balls were lucky they weren't picked off or however you want to put that. Okay, fine. You're still in that spot, though. And you were in that spot because you belong in that spot. But I don't think Georgia's elite. I do think Alabama's going to get them in a couple of weeks. And Georgia better shore up their passing defense, and it better happen quickly. Because Alabama is going to throw the ball on them. The guy that paints his nails is going to be able to afford a lot of nail polish. The good stuff. And he'll be able to go to Sally Beauty Supply, Bino, and get the good stuff. Bino, give me a final thought. Yeah.
The one difference there, Tony, is Alabama owns that series like Georgia owns this one for the most part.
And the mental thing is that's the other thing about college football. You can pay these guys all you want, but the mental side of this thing and what's happened in the past is as real as rain. It remains as real as rain. Bino, give me a final thought. You guys have been incredible today. I got to go lay down.
Yeah, Tony, I'll end it the way I started it. That's one of the worst ball scars in the entire length of my fandom. But with that pain, I come out of that game with greater hopes for this season than I had before I went in there.
And that makes about as much sense as anything, because that's exactly how I feel. That's why I'm so conflicted. And I don't know whether to feel like a complete loser, but I say amen to what Bino just said. People would say, well, isn't it about winning the game? Yeah, it's always about winning the game. Nobody ever said it wasn't about winning the game. Of course it's about winning the game. But, man, there comes a point in time where you say, man, my team balled out today. My team balled out today. All right, well, we love you. Thank you. It was great being with you today. We'll be with you tomorrow, same time, same bat channel. To the folks that couldn't get in today, know this: I love you. I appreciate you. My friends at TLD Logistics, thank you for presenting our Overdrive Overtime. Support our friends at TLD Logistics if you're in the shipping industry, or if you have a need give them some business. Tell them you heard about it on Basilio. Many, many folks have. It's been a really great partnership for both of us, and I thank you for that. In the meantime, we love you. G to the B to the O and take the VO. Appreciate you. So, okay. To those of you listening, we are going to... Whoa. We're going to run it back here. I'm going to play this thing back from the spot where I had to restart it. It's a long story, y'all. But let me see if I can do this here. Let me see if it'll give it to me. All right. All right, here we go. Here's today's show back at you. Those of you that tuned in late, you can also check us out, of course, at tclub.team, all that good stuff. We love you. We appreciate you. Peace. Show.
Change of coaches.
Yeah, I was talking to Bino, before we got started here, and I want him to kind of go and discuss what he wants to discuss, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And at the end of the day, I'm going to let Bino talk here.